6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. Blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Such sights to show you. We'll tear your soul apart.
Oh, a funny man. That's the matter with you.
Glass.
Woo! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very private and quiet edition of Death Curse Society. It's a limited screening.
Did we process the link? Did we pass it out? I mean,
well, yeah, it's out there on in our members group, so hopefully they'll be joining us later. We got one. I think that's me. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that number goes up at all later.
I'll tell you what, since no one's here.
Yeah.
Shame on you all.
Start telling people. What's up, gang?
Whoa,
Ziggy, how was your week?
You know, it's down to the Christmas rush here. It's my sister's supposed to arrive in town today from Texas with her whole family, and this routine goes on every year. They ship all their stuff, all their shit gets sent up here to Michigan, and then we do Christmas here, and then they ship it all back with them when they go back. Well, a couple of days ago, my brother-in-law says, I'm not feeling so good. So they go and get checked out, and they got the Rona.
Oh, no.
Where are they? Coming. Huh?
They're in Texas?
They're in Texas.
Well, of course they got the Rona. Texas is now called Rona capital of the world.
The Rona capital of the world. Well, they got it. They're all vaxxed and everything, too. I mean, and it just... Thank goodness they caught it before they came here and passed it all on to everybody. But, yeah, so we got that. So that was me and my mom this morning, loading all the shit up packing it into a bunch of boxes, hitting the post office, and dropping $260 to try to get it there by Christmas back in Texas. We'll see. I don't know. But yeah, that was my week. Oh, yeah, the Lions won.
Oh, yay.
It's all right. I mean, like I said, they'll win 3 or 4 games, fuck up their draft stock, and the whole thing will be ruined. And but yeah, they beat the hell out of the Arizona team, which is a favored contender for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So yeah. So who knows?
Hey, excuse me for just 1 second, but Colonel, I'll be listening. How was your week?
Wasn't bad. French overlords demanded that I work 6 days again, so I only had 1 day off. Fan-fucking-tastic. But that 1 day off wasn't bad. I mean, who am I kidding? It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. The Bengals won a huge game. The Baltimore Ravens lost. Fuck yeah, we have first place in the division for 24 hours, but the Browns were beating the Raiders as we're coming live on the air, and if they win, my Bengals fall to second place.
Can I ask you a question? What the hell is going on with Jamar Chase?
Oh, good Lord.
Recovering.
Dude.
Did I not tell you? Did I not?
He's totally fucking me in the fantasy world, all right? I'm just letting you know.
Well, I'm just letting you know. We go back to August, early September. Jamar Chase is a good pickup. He outperformed first, half of the season. But do you remember the name I told you? T. Higgins is going to be the overall #1 receiver this season. And he's starting to have his 100-yard games and his touchdowns.
I have him on another team, but not the one where I need him. So
Lovely.
Another reason to hate the Bengals. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, Jamar Chase still got you 1,000 fucking yards this season.
That's great, but I need him now. I need him to get now.
All right.
Playoff push, man. Ugh.
Yeah, great. Hey, last night I got a chance to go to one of the clubs that I work at, called the Great White Buffalo. I got to go to their company Christmas party, which was a lot of fun, but I really did not get a whole lot done today, so pretty much napped all day, and that was about it. So, yay for me.
Speaking of Christmas parties, it's about time I get this party started.
Look at this guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you got a pocket and everything, huh?
Yep. Sounds fucking
nice. At least somebody's in the Christmas spirit on here.
He's so festive, isn't he?
I didn't know you assholes are going to wear a fucking sweater, though I might as well.
No. All right, looks like we're finally getting a few people trickling in here. Lorena's here. Tyrone is here, which I assume Tanya is as well watching. Patricia is here. And that looks like about it right now. So, and Amy is watching with Patricia. Hello, Amy.
Hello, welcome.
One of her caregivers. Happy holidays to Amy, ladies and gentlemen. So, thanks for listening in.
Well,
that's funny.
I got my club exclusive shirt today, and Frank advised me not to wear it because he didn't want to spoil the Christmas surprise. But oh my God, is that shit funny?
Isn't it good?
I still need to buy one while I can.
It is fantastic.
That is lovely. Yes. Well, hopefully we have a few more people that will pipe in here momentarily. But we'll see. But other than that, it's been a relatively slow week. We don't have to go through the sales pitch tonight because the ones that are in here obviously know what's up. Mm-hmm. So I would like to thank our members, though, while we have a moment. Special thanks to our final girls and guys that will hopefully be in here momentarily. Corey, Chris, Lorena, Christy, Luke, S. Michael, Patricia, Tanya, and Tyrone. And then, of course, thanks as well to our Crazy Ralphs, Angelo, Peter, Raymond, and our camp counselors, Stacy Lynn, Kiara, and Dave. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Did you add Orlando?
There we go.
And Orlando. I did not add Orlando. So, my bad. Like I said, I didn't get a whole lot done today. Yeah. Suck my dick. $20 is $20. Oh, Lord. So, did you guys, and the people watching as well, did you guys watch Black Christmas again before we get into It's Me, Billy? Colonel, I'm assuming you did not.
To be fair, I attempted it. I attempted to watch Black Christmas again and fucking fell asleep. And it just, like, sorry. I appreciate what it's meant to the horror world as a whole and its importance, but yeah, I just find this film.
He did say he worked 6 days and the French overlords and all that shit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I heard. Fail.
Oh,
Utter
a fucking fail. I really tried, man. I even had barbecue and shit. That's where I fucked up. I ate that before I watched it.
He packed himself. He comatose on
Pretty
food.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. I do the same thing sometimes.
And festive holiday cheer, apparently.
Ziggy, I assume you got to watch it.
I certainly did.
Excellent.
Yes.
Me too. And I actually introduced It's Me, Billy to a friend of mine over the weekend, or yesterday. So she got to watch it.
I did wait on watching It's Me, Billy, because I want to be fresh and I want to be spiked with questions as they come up and let the boys tell us what we're looking at and stuff, or what we're missing.
Right. Yes, later on we will be joined by Dave McRae and Bruce Dale, both the writers and directors of It's Me, Billy, and we're going to sit back, watch the film. We're going to talk over it a little bit. We're going to ask them some questions. You guys are welcome to ask questions as well.
Yes.
Trying to make sure.
I have a lot to ask about on the end and where we're at with potential sequels after that fucking cliffhanger they left us with. So.
You mean probably questions that they're not going to be able to answer?
Yeah, of course. The hard questions. As journalists, this is what we do. And they will not be spared the harsh scrutiny of the press.
That's a good point. But
journalist, I'm not.
You're getting there, Colonel.
I try to be.
You're doing better and better every week. I swear to God.
I'm not saying this. This ain't fucking journalism. This is me fucking drinking a beer and talking fucking horror. This is normal. This is natural for me.
This is just a regular Monday night. There it is. I wondered when it was going to show up. Ziggy, we got a few more minutes. It looks like. So you've crafted some work for the fans. There's only a few in here, but let's get it on.
You know, as exclusive members, you get some exclusive content before everybody else. And my brother sent me this thing, and it's been going around the internet for a few years. Mm-hmm. And you may have seen it, you may not have seen it. It's called The Best Death Ever. So it goes like this. Check this out. And that pretty much repeats for a good 5 minutes. It gets
like
funny.
5 minutes.
Yes, but as I was sitting there, something occurred to me, and it appears that wino is not restricted from the Bollywood world.
What the hell, man?
You guys watching fucking Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, dude. When was it going to end?
There's actually like 3 or 4 more gunshots, man. I could have took that another 5 minutes.
Oh God, let's hope not.
But there you go.
Lord.
Wino in Bollywood for your viewing pleasure.
For the YNO fans out there, I hope that pleased your appetite for this evening, because hopefully that is all that we will do.
Well, yeah, until next week when we unleash it to the regular crowds that are here.
Oh, there's also something else we're going to unleash on the regular crowd next week that I am super stoked for. Oh, I have to use it for the con segment. Oh,
Yeah.
Still hurts.
Yep.
Man.
Yep. There we go. That'll be good.
I think that'll make a good contest. Let's speculate what the Colonel said. You know what I mean?
Right. Tyrone says, nice one, Zag. Patricia says, dying over here. Yeah, just like that guy. And Lorena says, that's how I plan to die. Great.
Yep.
I used to think another way would be the best way to go, but I am proven wrong tonight. That's the best way.
The magical internet, man. You just never know what you're going to get.
That is fun. All right. Well, it looks like we have somebody in the waiting room. I'm not quite sure if he... Yep. Okay, now he's
ready.
I think now he's getting ready. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming back to our stream for, I believe this is his second appearance, the one of the writers and directors of It's Me, Billy, which we're getting ready to watch, Mr. Dave McRae. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Not bad.
Good to see you guys. Bruce should be along shortly. He is showing up. He will be here.
Awesome. Yeah, he actually popped in shortly before we went live, and we said hello, and
okay.
And he said, well, we said we got about 15 minutes or so to BS, and he was like, I'll be back. I was like, sounds good.
I don't blame him one bit.
Perfect.
Right. And it looks like he's popping in right now. So let me
great.
clear this. Let me clear this out, and because I don't know if that's going to be necessary right now. And guys, for the first time ever on Death Curse Society, welcome to the show, the other writer-director, the other white meat of It's Me, Billy, Mr. Bruce Dale.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
I hope that's not the worst introduction you've ever gotten in your life.
No.
Who knows?
It's great.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me okay? Is the sound quality good?
Yeah, you sound fine. Yeah.
Okay, great. Awesome.
And,
Perfect.
all right. And Candy Blades, otherwise known as Patricia, I think she's talking to Dave, maybe, says, love the hat.
The Daffy Duck hat? Yeah, I rocked this on set too. This is like my, one of my go-to hats. Daffy Duck's my favorite Looney Tunes character. So, and this is pretty much how I looked all the time when I was on set too. I just
Well, there are worse ways to look on set. So
that is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
That's
fair enough.
That's
fair enough.
Now, you guys, we'll just kind of jump right into it a little bit. You guys have been almost lifelong friends. Is this correct?
Yeah. We met. It will be celebrating our 30th friendship anniversary next year. We met in 1992, and we've been making. We made movies together, home movies, obviously, throughout the 1990s, and shot on the high 8mm camcorders, and then we both went to film school, and then now we both work in the film and entertainment industry here in Toronto. So it's kind of crazy to think that we go back that far. We wanted to do what we're doing, so it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So, was this ever something in that growing up as friends, starting to make films together? Man, someday we're gonna get a sequel going to Black Christmas. How far on the radar was it?
I don't, Bruce. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, not so much. If anything, I would say that like when we were growing up, we did a horror trilogy called The Night He Came Back, and it was based on Michael Myers' Halloween. Like it was inspired by, I will say, inspired by. And so, if anything, I would say maybe we would have wanted to maybe remake or do our own rendition of, or whatever you want to call it. That.
Yeah.
But Black Christmas was definitely a conversation a couple of years ago, and I'd say a little bit more spontaneous compared to that. Yeah.
Yes. For
Very
sure.
nice.
Yeah. It was The Night He Came Back trilogy, and it was based on the subtitle of Halloween, which is The Night He Came Home. And so we had The Night He Came, The Night He Came Back, and the night it came to an end.
Mhm.
And I still have them on VHS somewhere. I should.
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
We should digitize those. And
Yeah.
post them.
Dude,
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah, because this is like from 1994. So I
what,
mean,
what gems would those make to just beat?
It might-
Yeah, but you could probably
Maybe
work
some
ruin our
video
career.
camera.
You could probably some of the current skills involved and maybe clean them up a little bit. I mean, come on.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
That's
George
right,
Lucas
that's right.
does shit. Just like
That's
Yeah,
right.
Lucas starts it.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Jabba the Hutt shows up in the background for no damn reason.
That's
You know,
Mm-hmm.
Michael Myers steps on his tail when he's going after somebody.
that's right.
100%.
That'd be-
100%.
that'd be great.
Special edition. That's what we're gonna do. 4K. 4K. Shot on high 8. We're gonna 4K.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah,
The screen will be that big.
yeah,
Yep, yep. And you'll see everybody's pores and everything, and it'll just be ridiculous. Yeah, it was great.
That's lovely. So, looks like S. Michael is in here, and he has I don't think it's a question, really. He says, I just got to say, it's me, Billy, was the best fan film I've ever seen, and DCS has a huge archive on their website, so I've seen a lot. Thank you for making this masterpiece. Well, there you go.
Thank you very much, sir.
How has some of the fan reaction been to more overwhelmingly positive, or what are some of the negatives?
Yeah, I think it has. You know, it's we always knew it was a niche piece, sort of very kind of, you know, not you know, it's not Friday the 13th, it's not Halloween. You could make that on your phone and it'll get 100 million views in a weekend. With something like Black Christmas, you know, it's the original film is a cult classic. It's a cult classic, not a cult. So those fans that have seen it, I think it has really resonated with Black Christmas fans, especially of the original film, who really appreciate what we've gone back to and what we're trying to do, and really push it forward. I think they appreciate the level of professionalism and the quality that the film is, which is great. Now, you always have, you know, people that, I mean, it's art, right? So you're always going to have somebody go, I didn't like this, you know, whatever. And that's just the way it is. I mean, that's what happens. You put yourself out there and you let the chips fall where they may. But I think overall, I think the reception has been largely very positive. I think Bruce would agree.
Yeah, 100%. Some of the comments that we've had were, you know, people commenting that it looked like a studio piece, that it, you know, had some real quality to it for the sound design, and kudos to Dave for all of that. And of course, you know, the picture edit, cinematography, the acting, those are some of the areas we've had the most number of compliments on, I would say. And yeah, in terms of negatives, there haven't been too much, at least that I've seen. You know, of course, there has been some stuff for sure. Nothing's going to be perfect. You can't please everybody. But, you know, I think one of the best compliments I think that we got was that people said, you know what, I wish this was a feature. I wish this was I want more. I'd like, guys, what did you do at the end? You know, that kind of
We'll get into
Wait
that
for it.
later.
I think one of the negatives, so to speak, I guess, would be that I saw pop up a few times, and I can understand it, is that we made the creative choice to, for all intents and purposes, show Billy more objectively. Whereas in the original film, you don't really see him. You see his silhouette once or twice. You see his shadow on the wall once or twice, but then it's all through the POV. And you see his hands as he's climbing the trellis outside and all that kind of stuff. We decided to, because it's a sequel, and we felt that we needed to, you know, push the narrative forward. We wanted to develop the character of Billy, but how do you develop a character that largely should be shrouded in mystery, ambiguity, and have this mystic? How do you do that, you know, without just doing the same thing over again? Well, we decided that the best way to do it was to keep him shrouded in mystery. So you don't ever really see his face, but we wanted to develop the character more by showing him a little more objectively. So taking it out, now there are POV shots, but actually seeing more of the physicality of him. Yeah. And so, for example, in the original, you see his tantrum he has in the attic through his point of view. But in our film, you see his tantrum from your point of view. So you're kind of seeing it in the distance. And we felt that maybe you're seeing a side of him that you haven't seen before. And although you're not really seeing more of him, you are in some sort of kind of unusual way. But it's not revealing him, so to speak. And there were some people like, oh, I don't know if I would have done that. But we wanted to do it because, we wanted to show you a side that you hadn't seen before. Because if we didn't, then we're just doing the same thing over again.
Yeah.
It's a clear case of less is more, I think, and I like what you did. It gives him a new level of like, damn, man, he's an intimidating fellow. You know what I mean?
Right.
All these years later, so I thought it was great.
Yeah,
There was definitely a piece that Dave and I, we talked a lot about that because we respected the ambiguity of the character, not being able to see the features, like just so many factors that play into the villain, right, and that character. And we really talked a lot about, do we want to show him? If so, how much do we show? We always agreed we never want to show his face. We don't ever want to reveal that. And I would say a really big inspiration for some of the choice that we made to show the physical body was during the casting process with the actor. Gentleman that plays the role is Brian Peter. And when we saw his audition tape, he had filmed himself next to a window, and there was like the blue moonlight coming in. And he had this long silver white hair, kind of thing, and just caught the light so nicely. Like it was just, there was something freaky about it when we saw him, and communicated that sense of, crazy or psychoticness about this character, this, and the way that he played it, his physicality. Dave and I saw it, we were sold, and we were like, I think we could play this. You know what I mean? Like it sort of organically answered the question for us, and then it was about, how do we make the right choices from there, and what do we do with it from there? So
well, and what's so cool too is that this is supposed to be nearly 50 years later, so we had to ask ourselves as writers and as directors, where is this character now? If he was like the way he was in 1974, how old would he have been then? Maybe 23, 24, 25, somewhere in there. So he's in his late 60s, early 70s now, at least. And if he hadn't gotten the help that he needed, I mean, he's clearly, where would his mental decay be now? He's not likely to be walking down the street going to get a haircut, right? Or buying a suit. I mean, he's so to show that physicality, to show him objectively, and to see that long hair, which is the actor's real hair, by the way.
Yeah.
And to see that and he has real beard and everything. Not that you could see the beard, but you kind of can in certain little shots.
Catch it in angles.
Yeah, exactly. We felt that this is what he would be like. And then you tack on the outburst and the craziness. It just adds a whole different dimension, rather, to somebody who looks like they just shaved last Tuesday. We didn't think he'd be doing that.
Right. Nice. I did want to get into a little bit more about Black Christmas and what you guys kind of emulated from that movie, but I want to hit a couple of these comments more real quick.
Sure.
Lorena says, gotta agree with S. Michael. It's Me, Billy was a cut above, and I'm picky.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Well, she says she's picky, but she keeps pushing on us some movie called Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. So I'm not sure how picky she really is,
Gotcha.
to be honest. But it's a hidden gem. All right, well, we got another fan there for you, Lorena.
And we are now doing a sequel. Myself and Bruce have decided that.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I think you just made Lorena just explode in happiness, a happiness-gasm, possibly. Who knows? Right. And Peter Anthony Productions is here. He says, Dave and Bruce, great job on the film. We all loved it at Team Roseblood.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Peter. Really appreciate that.
Yeah,
thank you.
Well, that actually opens up a new question. Have you guys seen Roseblood, the Friday the 13th Part 7 continuation that just came out a couple weeks ago?
I have not seen it yet.
No,
I have
okay.
not seen it yet.
Yeah.
No, it is on the list, but I have yet to see it. We've just been so busy over this last couple of weeks with a lot of stuff. But it is on the list, and I hear great things. So,
okay, excellent.
Definitely worth it.
Yeah, prepare for some surprises.
Okay,
so
I'm prepared.
All right.
Colonel, do you have a question yet?
No, every time I got one, Zags took it, so I'm good.
Zag, you thunder-stealing prick again.
I'm just gonna turn my mic off and just sit
No,
there.
you're fine, because I have plenty of questions about It's Me, Billy, so when that gets started.
I got plenty of questions. All right.
Well, like I was saying with Black Christmas and It's Me, Billy, I noticed a lot of similar music cues, especially the piano, string strumming, kind of angry strumming.
Scrapes, right? Yep.
Yeah, the strikes. A lot of similar music, a lot of sound cues that were kind of similar, and obviously the filmmaking style. What else did you try to emulate and mirror from It's Me, Billy, or from Black Christmas into It's Me, Billy? Bruce, you want to start with this one?
Yeah, there was a few things, and I do want to say that I'll speak about it in terms of our influences and different influences that we've had from a few films. So, of course, the original Black Christmas, that was the only one, of course, out of the three that have been made that we referenced or held, allowed to hold any influence.
Thank you.
We also drew. We also no problem. We also were inspired very much by The Shining, and inspired by the film Hereditary, and in terms of visual style, as well as certain cues, like you mentioned. I think for the audio and the music in particular, it was important to Dave and I, and we talked a lot about this. We wanted it to be more of a soundscape type thing as opposed to a musical soundtrack, like some films do, right? We wanted it more minimalistic, more in that vein of the original 1974, to give it some of that flavor, not just paying homage to it, but that aesthetic. We wanted to carry that forward into this one, and so that it could feel like it truly is a continuation, a sequel of the original.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dave, anything to add on that?
I agree. It's funny. The one of the great things about the original Black Christmas is the score or lack thereof, but it's nothing more than piano scrapes and strikes and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And that really is it. And the composer years later said, if I knew it was going to become this cult classic, I would have put more effort into it. He was just kind of doing whatever it was, because when you're making a movie, you never know. I mean, you might have an inkling, I think this is going to do well, but you never know if it's going to do well, if it's not going to do well. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you have no control over it. And but we knew, yes, we wanted to emulate that. We didn't want to have a score. We had a number of composers reach out to us, wanting to compose the soundtrack for the film. And we said, we really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's amazing that you want to do that. But we knew that it was going to be more of a sound design, which of course is my forte. That's what I do. Mm-hmm. And so I was going to build it all in my home studio here. And I have a library of thousands of sound effects and pieces and strings and this and that and all that kind of stuff. So I built it all really from scratch. And if there wasn't a sound that I had, I would go searching for it, try to find it and purchase it somewhere. But I would say about 95 to 98% of what you hear is originally put together and mixed and all that. And yeah, we just wanted it to sound, I'm big on mood and atmosphere, and we wanted the sound to complement that. Yeah. So it's just, and really have that flavor of the 74 film, but brought into the 21st century.
Yeah, very much so. And I think the same too with the visuals. Like it was, again, we talked a lot about how do we maintain the feeling of the original, that period aspect to it from that time, but then modernize it and add our own flavor and style to it, so that we could evolve it. You know what I mean? So it doesn't go stagnant, because we didn't want any of that. We wanted to add to it. We want to grow the story. We want to do more with it, and that goes for the sound and the visuals. Yeah.
And Bruce and I are big on telling a story through the lens and using camera movement, and and again, it depends on the film and the story you're telling. I mean, you might be telling a story that requires your a lot of movement in terms of handheld stuff and choppy stuff or whatever it is, but we wanted to be very we spent about 2.5 months on the shot list alone.
Yeah.
And
Oh, wow.
we knew we wanted to use a lot of sort of pensive movement with the camera, really figure out where we want to place the camera and tell the story through the lens, evoke a feeling and a mood through the lens, and how the camera is moving, how fast you move away from a shot, all that kind of stuff, and really just kind of evoke a maturity to the piece, which was really, really, really important to us as well. And one other thing that we do have in the film, which is in the original Black Christmas, you don't see them too much anymore, but they were very popular in the 1970s, are the crash zooms. So you just like this, right? And there's a few of those in the 74 film, and we have 2 in our film. One with Sam at the door when she turns around and she hears the phone right on her face. Right. It's become a very sort of popular promotional shot of ours. And one at the end of the movie on the phone, right onto the phone.
Yes.
And that was something, you don't really see that too much nowadays, but it was something that was very apparent in the original, and we brought it into ours as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, S. Michael has a question for you guys, and maybe we can point these out whenever we get to the film, but he says, what Easter egg are you most proud of? And well, we can save that for as we're watching it here in just a few minutes if you want.
Yeah. All right.
And Lorena
There's an
even mentions
Easter egg in the movie. It's wrapped. It's in the corner. It's, no.
Well, and Lorena says she loved the unicorn pin right at the beginning, so she caught that one, of course.
Yeah.
And then she says, "Oh, thanks. Call me out on the Santa and the ice cream bunny. You're welcome." So, well,
I wonder if anybody's ever done a spoof where they actually have Easter eggs in the film. I think it'd be really funny.
That would be funny.
Anyways,
that would be fun. Well, now we're gonna do it.
Sorry, I'm in my own world here. Go on.
One last question I have about Black Christmas before we get started is there's an additional murder in Black Christmas that's implied off screen. The girl they find in the park. In you guys' eyes, that's the greatest English ever right there. You guys' in your eyes, is Billy responsible for that death as well, or was that just a separate accident that happened?
No, he's responsible for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was something he did on his way to the sorority house?
Quite possibly. Yeah.
Okay.
I wish I had the I know it's a whole other story. Anyway, yes.
Well. Not sure what you were looking for there, but all right.
No, I was okay. What I was going to say was at the end of our film, of course, when Sam is in the attic and the camera is scanning across the top of this desk in the attic. Of course, you see the Belmont Murders book, and you see these newspaper clippings. Well, obviously, it doesn't stay on it long enough to be able to read the paper, but we were so detailed that we actually had real articles written up about what you're seeing in there. And the murder count from that night, which they talk about in the article, includes
that one.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
In there.
Yeah, we went into detail on some of this shit.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, hey, you have to. That's what you're supposed to do. Because somebody's going
to paper, but I don't have it.
Yeah.
Well, because somebody's going to come along. Some asshole is going to come along and be like, "Well, you didn't include the girl that they found in the park."
Yeah, that hasn't happened yet. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Maybe it'll happen now.
Maybe it will.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Damn it! And if it does, I'm sorry. I'll just say it right now. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We'll just send the invoice.
Orlando says, just watch the trailer for It's Me, Billy, and my thought is, holy shit, I'm going to love this. I think you are. And
Great.
I'm going to do a quick not a spoiler about your film, but a spoiler about our top of 2021 next week that we're doing. I'm pretty sure this is my number one fan film. Ziggy, Colonel, would you agree of the last year?
It's right there. There's a couple I'm mulling over, but I mean, this is as close to an actual studio film sequel to a major property that you're ever going to see in a fan film. So yes, it has to be considered.
Appreciate that.
Cool. I'm not going to spoil my list.
Fine.
I'm on record of the three of us. I'm the one who appreciates the original Black Christmas for what it meant to the history of horror. Not a huge fan. I have tried. But goddamn, I'm sorry. It's Me, Billy is so freaking good. This is going to be like my 4th or 5th time watching this. So
yeah,
cool.
Love
Thank
it.
you guys.
I appreciate that very much. Yeah, we, you know, we'd be remiss if we didn't say, you know, extra props to our cast and crew.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know, one of the things that we wanted to do, you know, is myself and Bruce, you know, we've worked a long time in the business, and we wanted to utilize the connections and the resources that we had and make a real film. And it's, you know, and where it becomes almost fan film in name only, because we can't make any money off of it. We can't sell it to Amazon or, you know, what have you.
Right.
And our DP is a 2-time CSE award nominee. That's the Canadian Society of Cinematographers, and the crew is professional. They work in Canada's film industry, and It's Me, Billy was just a stop for them. You know, they've since gone on and done many other things. So, and that was intentional. We knew we wanted to focus on the directing and the writing and the producing and hire the right people. And you're only as successful as the people you surround yourself with. Yeah. And you have to build a real competent professional team. And it's not easy to do, but we worked our butts off to make sure that we could do that within the means of the level of film that we were doing. It's a $60,000 film. So it was a cast of 5, crew of about 12. So
Hey.
yeah,
You got quality work out of. Yeah, you got quality work out of everybody. So
I just wanted to say we'd be remiss if we didn't shout them out and say how amazing they are.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Colonel, anything else before we get started here? Ziggy, Colonel.
Feel free to pause along the way if you want to. I did send you.
Yeah.
I did send you. I don't know if you got it. I sent you the movie on the Vimeo link.
Right.
In an email. You can use. I don't know if you wanted to use that or the YouTube one, but I sent you that one in case you wanted.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I do just have a YouTube version of it.
Fair enough.
But
that's fine.
I don't think
there might be ads that pop up. That's possible.
I think I've gotten past those.
Okay.
So,
all right. Okay.
We're
not
see.
making money off of it, but you know.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Well, let's start this up and see how this goes.
Right.
I hope this works.
Oh, baby.
Well, there we are.
There we go.
We
all
are.
right.
I can see it. Yeah,
I can see it.
I'm glad I didn't link.
You were wrong? No, we're good.
Well, I'm just glad I didn't link any of my private porn stash in there and accidentally.
That's the after show, right?
That's right. Can you imagine? I shared the wrong screen.
Shit, it's like a dry run for you guys. Aren't you guys running this again Wednesday with the entire cast and everything on your channel?
We are. On my channel, 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The entire cast will be doing it. It's the first time that we've done that, so we're very excited about that.
Yeah. Get a little more. Get a little more in a couple of days.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah. This is a great drone shot. All the drone footage was done by our drone pilot, Adam Gamble. So shout out to him. Sam. This is I've said this before, but this whole scene. I mean, it was always going to be like this, but Sam, of course, is upset because she was denied access to the Black Christmas house, the house where it all happened. And since her grandmother has just recently passed, quote unquote, she has heard the stories for many years, and she wanted to go inside and sort of a way for her to sort of a bit of closure for her. In reality, Bruce and I tried to use the Black Christmas house in this film, and we were denied access. So it's almost like it's a bit of a meta thing happening here. This is almost like symbolically, it's myself and Bruce getting denied access as well.
Yeah, I had a question about that. Have you heard from the current owners of the house since this has come out? No. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, like when we walked up to the door, we were like, hey, we were polite. We were,
It's on an intercom, by the way.
Yeah. We walked up to the side of the house. There's an intercom. We said, politely, we asked before we got halfway through the sentence, they just shut us down and we were like, no. And you could tell that they had so many different people come up to their house before to, ask to shoot there or whatever, and they're just not having it. So, we tried a couple times, and then, what can you do, right? It is what it is.
Yeah.
Someone's private residence, so you can only take that so far.
Sure.
It's important to point out too that we weren't looking to use it as the main house, like as Jess's home. We just wanted to open the movie with it.
Yeah.
So instead of opening on the side of the road like we did here, it would have opened with Sam actually going to the original house.
Yeah.
But things change.
Nice. Well, and how did you find this wonderful cast of Victoria Merrow, Malika, I'm going to mess this up, Malika Henny Hamadi, and Shelby Hanley?
It was an
How did you
open
find
cast-
these three?
It was an open casting call online, and we received about, I'm going to say 100 submissions for Sam, 50, 60 submissions for Emma, 20 submissions it was a lot of submissions. And then we picked the ones we wanted to see again for an audition. And these are the three ladies that knocked it out of the park.
Nice. Well, and they do. They do.
Yeah. Yeah, there was just a great chemistry that came through on screen. Like,
Yeah.
we even did a thing where we took part of Victoria's audition and cut it together with Shelby's audition. And this is before we had seen anything from Malika. We hadn't discovered her yet. And we did a little test where we intercut them just in a little bit because we gave them the same portion of the sides. And there was just a natural chemistry that played out. It was super cool. And we were like, yes, this is going to work. And just
Very nice.
Just the nuance, the subtlety of their performance, and how they just really, like, all three of them just really understand the camera, how to play it, how to just evoke the emotion, to hit the subtle beats. We were just really, really happy, really impressed with them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. On that note, I do want to pause this for a second because thank you for pointing that out, because that is my biggest complaint about fan films is the acting. Because a lot of times it almost seems like the director and the writer are just casting their friend, or, I like to equate it to they're casting some guy they know from the bar because they think he's funny at the bar, and then they put him on film and it's not fucking funny.
Right.
But, I mean, does that just drive you guys up the wall too when you see some of these, Bruce?
Yeah, it's you know what, when I go into it, I take it for what it is. And at first, if I'm watching a fan film, I'm just going to go into it, I guess, with tempered expectations, if that's fair to say, not to be insulting toward anything or anyone, but I just don't know what I'm going to receive, right? And there's such a range of quality and what have you. And it also depends on the seriousness of the filmmakers. Like, for us, this was very much, we wanted to catch people's attention with this piece. We wanted to bring our best game that we could create at this point in our lives with the tools that we have access to, and give you our best. And it's different. Some people create things just, and it's just for fun, and it's not meant to be anything more. And that's perfectly cool.
Right.
And then there's everything in between. So I definitely appreciate, though, strictly from a filmmaking point of view, and if I'm just going to talk as a filmmaker right now, I would say, performance is essential to sell your story. It starts with a great story. You need performance that is believable. You need to be able to direct and work with the performers. They need to understand the subtext. They need to understand what they're saying. And if they don't hit it, if they don't nail it, then it's going to suck. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
Exactly.
Sorry, I was just going to say he's bang on. I mean, it was important to us that we hired professionals, who do this, and this is what these ladies are trained in doing. And since it's me, Billy, they've gone off and done other things. So it was. I always say that there's a scene that'll be popping up here soon between Sam and Emma on the porch of the house. And that scene, that performance that you see there was the quality of the auditions they were sending.
Yeah.
Nice.
and so it was, they just knew it. They spoke the words as if they were thinking the words themselves. Yeah. And it was very conversational, and they were adding the natural pauses and the natural, where it's if you would be thinking about what you were going to say, and the look to the eye to the other actor playing to the camera and things like that. Yeah, it's so important. But as Bruce said, it depends, right? I mean, it's not everybody is. We were taking this very seriously. We would have gone about every single thing we did, right from development to post production. We would have done the exact same thing if this was an original piece of work.
Yeah.
In terms of it is an original piece of work, but I mean in terms of it not being connected to, something
the IP.
you can't make any money off. That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that, like I said, that's my main complaint about most fan films. I don't have that with yours, clearly.
Cool.
And you guys mentioned two of the more important words when it comes to acting ability: subtext and subtlety.
Yeah.
Those things are majorly important when it comes to delivering a performance on screen. And thank you. Anyway,
Yeah,
I digress.
The word for
We can
me
continue.
on set was nuance. It was all over
Yes.
the place. That's all I was saying all day.
Yes, that too.
Yep.
But all right, we can move on now. I just wanted to get that out of my system.
No problem.
He's right, though. I mean, all the fan films we've seen,
Remember what you told me?
and various ones, like you said, the different levels. And when it comes to the ones that try and get the good acting, the bad acting takes you right out of it. The chips are already stacked against you before you even started in the fan film world, So
Right, and we knew that if we were going to be shooting on professional cinematic Hollywood gear with a professional crew and actors, we can't have it looking fantastic, but then the acting is terrible.
Yeah.
So it had to be through and through professional to the best that we could do.
Yep.
So yeah, there she
All
is.
right. So
She's
where
so
did you?
sweet. She's lovely.
Yep. And how did you find? Well, I don't want to give away her name yet, but how did you find this character?
It was an open audition, just like the
Another
other
one?
Yeah, same thing. All 5 performers. It was the same thing. Open casting call, and we just went through a series of auditions and made our selections. Yeah.
What stood out to you about her audition?
There was a few things. First, her look. We really loved her look, and when we thought about the character and who she is and the story, we thought, awesome, perfect, great. And there were some other shots that she had in her portfolio. I guess other characters that she had played that resonated with us, I'll say, and we went, that's it. And then again, just her quality of performance, you can tell that she understands the craft of it, and she understands, like the rest, the performance, how to deliver, again, the nuance and the subtext, and so again,
I believe she has a lot of stage and theatrical work from the 1980s back in the day and things like that too, so that helped her as well.
Okay. There was the unicorn pin that she had on also. If you caught that, folks that are watching.
Right.
Yeah. And that was definitely one of our favorite Easter eggs for sure. There's a few of them. That was one in particular Dave and I talked a lot about, and we got really excited about, and hoped people would pick up on. And it was one of those, we knew it would be obvious, which you have to make it obvious to some point, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we wanted to be classy with the way that we showed it. And
Right.
then,
Didn't want to zoom up on it and just it's there. It's just in the background.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't want to do a crash zoom on that.
No.
When
That's
when you introduce her.
That'd be funny. That'd be funny.
It would be funny.
what is this?
This-
A Fulci film?
This this is one of my favorite scenes actually from a directorial standpoint, because the shot you just saw prior to this, we were on a Dana dolly tracking right to left, and then of course we cut in for the close-up with Sam at the tree, seeing the tree ornament. It says grandma and her granddaughter's love is forever, and now we continue our track on the Dana dolly, and you see the black rotary phone that comes into frame, but we don't pay any attention to it. We go right by it. It's just sort of there, and of course that is to convey that the phone is the representation of Billy, naturally, and his presence is there. The phone doesn't ring. It doesn't need to ring. The audience is going to see it. They're going to go, oh, there it is. It doesn't need to ring. And it's just letting you know that he's there. And later on, we have a similar shot where we're looking into the dining room and we're tracking left to right, back on the Dana dolly, and we're at the same level, and we stop looking at the girls at the table where the phone is. And of course, that's cinematic language. That's for us. That's as if the phone has turned around, as Billy has turned around and is watching them.
It's
from
watching.
the living room.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. I kind of picked up on that, and man, I love this location you found.
Mm-hmm.
It's great,
So-
eh? Yeah.
This was in Elmont, Ontario, Canada, which is about 20 minutes outside of Ottawa, which is our nation's capital. And a little quaint little town, beautiful. This home is just stunning. They've shot a lot of films here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we wanted something
Well,
that was really we wanted it to be in the same vein as the original. Because again, we were kind of hung up at one point at starting the movie with, at the original house if we could secure the location.
Right.
And then, when we couldn't, there was a lot of locations we looked at and considered, and we fell in love with this property the minute that we saw it. We could imagine shots so quickly, so easily. And then just looking at the house, we were like, yes, this is in the same vein, built around the same time. And we were like, yes, this will add the nostalgia, if you will,
Yes.
that the original had, and location is everything for it, right? So
Yeah.
And here's your scene you were talking about a moment ago about on the porch, I believe.
Yeah, this is such an important moment too, because this is the first time we're getting some exposition, some insight into the past, into what's going on, what has happened. Stan begins to open up about her grandmother and her mother and relationship there, and how she needs to start taking care of herself, and all I remember is all the fighting, and and if you're a fan of the original, you want to pay attention, because it's like, oh, she's talking about that gap between 74 and now, and how her mother.
They survived that night for
Well,
a reason.
I'll let Sam say it.
Hated growing up living in the shadow. She once told me that she believed that their relationship became more about that night than about her.
Listen, your mom wasn't exactly the easiest person to get along with. I remember how she treated you when she was drinking.
She was like that all the time. She died so young.
Just incredibly nuanced and
The
Yeah.
thing is,
wonderful
is
performances.
that they never made up before my mom died.
Yeah.
That fear was gone too.
Oh, and actually, Lorena just mentioned on here, I gotta say, the porch scene was a great way to tell us how the events in Black Christmas resonated. So,
Correct,
sorry
yeah.
if that covers you up, Bruce, but
No, it's true, and of course you find a bit about that with Mrs. Crane at the beginning, when she's like, I read all her books, and it's like, oh, I guess she became an author and this kind of stuff.
right.
This is the shot
And-
I'm talking about,
Yes.
where now we've reversed it, we've turned it around, and we're going, and we move, and we settle, and this is basically where the phone would be. So it's a bit of creepy watching here.
Yeah. Well, and you just kind of mentioned it. It was another one of my questions I had. When do you think Jess Bradford would have written this book or published this book about the murders? Would it have been early, like shortly after it happened in the 70s, or would it have been later in her life, like
Yeah, we all.
later years?
Bruce can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we always imagined it was like late 70s, early 80s book.
Yeah.
That's why the
Yeah.
book looks like a book that would have come out around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enough
So
time to
it's-
pass to kind of
Yeah.
grapple with the story, but then have enough
That's right.
time to pass that you could articulate it if you wrote about it, but then it's still fresh enough because it was such a significant thing,
That's
that
right.
kind of thing. So
Yeah. And she would have she became very famous and very successful on the book, and then it just became it was a huge sort of a huge area of contention between her and her daughter.
Now, in the book, do you think Jess still attributed the murders to Peter, or
Yes.
do you think she revealed the possibility of somebody else in the book?
No, I think in the book she it was all about Peter. It was only recently that she had doubts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's a reason we'll point it out in soon. But
I think that's coming up. Yeah.
The script, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anna.
Like, I think
Yeah.
she thought that if she wrote it all down, it would be
And this is perfect here.
therapeutic.
Yeah.
Thought she wrote it all down to therapeutic.
Well, I think at first, then between all the talk shows, the interviews, and the prank calls.
And if you look to the right of Sam, you can see the phone there. It's blurry, it's out of focus, but it's just
funny though.
to the edge of the.
Just down in the bottom corner there.
Yeah.
That wasn't good.
And this was the thing, right? Is like with the phone, like Dave was saying, when we introduced the phone in the living room during the day to reversing the angle, and we're seeing them in the dining room here, we wanted from jump that you get this overbearing sense that Billy's there. His presence is already there.
Right. And this shot here too, we're on a jib on track, so this isn't a digital zoom. We're actually pushing the camera in, and this again, from a directorial standpoint, we're imagining that you are the fourth girl, or the fourth person at the end of the table, leaning in. We're leaning in to listen to Sam speak.
Peter's the one your grandmother killed, right?
In self-defense, yeah.
There's a cool behind-the-scenes video that we posted months ago that shows the whole setup, where you can see the jib and see the camera assistant off to the side and the jib operator and the whole thing.
Nice.
So, check that out if anybody's interested.
Yeah, please do, guys.
The way she
You guys have done a lot of little behind-the-scenes videos, which I appreciate, because I love the process of filmmaking and watching how people do their stuff. So
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Well, especially when it's a good piece, too.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not worried about how they shot Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. No offense, Lorena. It's called a callback, ladies and gentlemen.
See, this is why horror movies drive me crazy. The killer's chasing you.
I actually watched this with a friend of mine this weekend. We watched Black Christmas and this, and this was one of the scenes that she was just like, "Oh, yeah," and you're not going to take your own advice later on in the movie, are you? Where you shouldn't be running upstairs. You should be running out the front door. And I'm like,
she does run out the door.
Eventually.
Yeah, when the killer's chasing her. Of course, it doesn't work. It doesn't help. The advice didn't work.
Right. And the first phone call.
Yeah.
Now, Ziggy, jump in. Colonel, jump in if you have any questions yet.
I'm just really appreciating their performances. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, it's believable, man. It feels genuine. It feels like they know each other. It's really good.
Draw you in. Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they actually took the time, like, at the outset when we were doing table reads, months before shooting, we learned that the girls actually got to know each other for real, like just outside, and actually developed a true friendship. So by the time we got going to camera, that friendship, I think, came through, and you get to see it, and I think that definitely contributes to it, and it was cool. It was really cool.
Well, okay, then that brings me to a kind of a side question. There's a scene coming up where, I think it's right after this, where she says something, her friends say something like, well, do the face. Was that scripted, or was that kind of improvised?
It was added into a later version of the script, but it was there. Now, the face that she does, we just told her to choose she had like a Rolodex of a few funny faces, and she chose one.
Okay.
Now, this
I
is
didn't know if that may have developed from the friendship.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Dave.
I was just going to say that this is a digital room, and the amount of time it takes to zoom up on her face is about I might be off, 48 seconds. It's the same amount of time as it takes to zoom in on Jess Bradford's face in the original Black Christmas.
Yeah, that's detailed.
Wow.
Your prank calls aren't going to scare me, pal.
There's your Easter egg, folks.
Yeah. She's spooked. She's a little spooked. She's at this point in time. But she thinks it's those, not Billy. She thinks it's those idiots that have found her grandmother's phone number and are making a prank call. But she's a little spooked. Her two friends are more concerned.
Okay, who the fuck is this? You just tried.
Don't antagonize the assholes, okay? It's just a stupid prank
So
call.
much more
And
jacked
you're
up on
really
the
not
phone,
for
too.
them over, right?
50
Yes.
years later.
Yeah.
Man. So good.
Your grandma
Oh, yeah.
and I unlisted.
Yeah, Dave did a great job with Billy's voice
But
and
this is a kind of shit
just
that
great
don't make her another
performance, man. Like it was awesome. We just knocked it out of the park.
48 Red Bulls. That's it. That's all it
Yeah.
takes.
A lot of sweat and like I bet that booth stunk after you were done.
It
You know?
farts and pee and
Okay, has Billy always been watching, or did he recently just find Jess and subsequently Sam and decide to start torturing them again? And the reason I ask the reason I ask this is if he's always been there, Sam and Emma talked about earlier memories they have in the house when they were kids. So has Billy been watching them too all these years?
there's a few things we don't want to say, but I think we can say that Billy has not been living in the attic for all this time.
Yeah.
Right. No, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
but
no.
Yeah. But other stuff we don't really want to speak too much to because it might spoil more of the story.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll have thoughts on that later.
There we go.
Damn it.
There we go.
It's a great
Man, you know how hard it is to craft a question like that to try to dig under
know.
that level.
Well, it's there's we can safely say that Billy has not been because some people, not you guys, but some people have thought that this house is supposed to be the sorority house from 1974, and it's not. It just is a house that is in the same spirit as that. Yeah. And there could be, and then you could ask yourself, well, why would Jess buy a house? Well, there might be a psychological reason for that too.
Yeah.
But no, Billy has not been hanging out in the attic this whole time.
Okay. All right. We'll try to dig a little deeper later, folks. Sorry.
Got to get them to get their guard down a little bit.
That's it. That's
Feel
it.
free to have a few drinks, guys, if you want.
So Billy's just.
There he is.
There's Brian Charles Peter. Amazing. I just got a text from him, actually, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, and I just wanted to point out, like, this lens, it's called the Lens Baby. That's the type of lens that we put
POV for him.
And so that distortion is not a digital distortion that we added in post. That was there when we were filming. And that was part of what Dave and I talked about how do we portray this character in their point of view, because there was a lot of POV shots in the original. But we wanted to, this is an area where we wanted to give our own flavor, our own style to it, and then evolve the character. And we talked about everything from like cataracts in the eyes to maybe one of his eyes is shot and you just don't, you can't see out of it. It's blind in one eye and, whatever. And so it's just messed up the way that, and to create or to communicate how distorted the world is through his point of view, we thought, okay, well, that's a great way to visualize it anyway. And again, that's part of the subtext as directors. So it's taking the words from a page and then trying to bring it to life on the screen. And using the camera, telling the story through the lens.
That's it.
But now telling the story from a character's point of view,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
love that you brought that song back too.
I was just gonna say, are you able to rewind back, like just?
I can possibly. Where do you want to go back to?
Oh, right back to him in the chair, like as exactly what you were talking about. You had just mentioned.
Yeah.
Go back like 15 seconds, 10 seconds. Oh, that's a little too much.
Yeah.
That's all right though. You can leave it there. That's fine.
There we
That's
go.
fine. That's fine. So, to Bruce's point, what is cool about this too is or to add on to your point, sorry, is this is that. So, in the original Black Christmas, we have never seen Billy from this perspective. We didn't get a chance to see him like this. We've seen him freak out, but we haven't seen him like this. And like we were saying at the top of the show, we really wanted to show you, oh wow, he's, the way he looks, the unkeptness of him, that's not even a word, but how he's unkept and the long hair and to actually see the freak out objectively. And when he sits down in the chair, what's going to happen is our DP is going to The camera again is on a Dana dolly right now. It's at the very end of the Dana dolly, and he's going to pull the camera out as if we're that Homer Simpson's meme where he is like this, and he kind of backs into the bushes.
Backs into the bushes.
Kind of like, oh shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as if you've just walked in on something that you know you shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And the Little Baby Bunting song, of course, is from the original, and that's Brian. All this here is not me. I'm on the phone, but this is Brian Charles Peters' performance.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love the fact you brought the song back too. I love that. So.
Yeah.
And again, your choice to give him this look like this and show a little bit more behind the scenes like this of what he really is.
Right.
To borrow a page from Colonel's book, Chef's Kiss.
Thanks.
Yeah, because I really appreciate that, because I think it's important that I think people, and again, you're always going to have people that might be surprised by it because you've never seen him from that perspective before. Mm-hmm. But I think it was important to us to just have that, to progress his character forward a bit, and that's the only way that you can do it with a character that has to remain ambiguous.
Yeah.
Right. Lorena says she wants a replica of that doll, by the way.
It was great. Brian actually went out the day, I think it was the day we were shooting that, and he was like, hey, so I was thinking about having this doll thing, he sort of pitched this idea to me and Dave. We talked about it.
No, it's actually in the script, and Brian came up to us and was like, so where's my doll?
Right.
And I was like, oh shit. I was like, where is the fucking doll?
Yeah.
And I had a doll, and then it, for whatever reason, didn't make it into the prop bin. And so he says, well, I'll just go down the street into town and I'll fucking buy it all. So he goes down and he comes back with his doll. And I said, make it look, it's got to be creepy. It can't be something new off the shelf at Walmart. It's got to be, and he found like this mom and pop shop dollar store or something. And he buys this doll. And I thought that's perfect. Brilliant.
Yeah, nice.
He's got it. He took it home.
Yeah.
Gonna have to fire that prop department guy. It sounds like.
Yes, that's me. I'm fired.
Unfortunately, that's me. Yeah, exactly. We do that all the time here. We're like, man, we got to fire the research department. Fuck them. They don't know what they're doing.
That's it.
I get fired every week. It's okay.
You get fired every week.
Fired and
I
hired.
had a job like that once.
That's funny though. We haven't fired Colonel in a long damn time. That's kind of a gag we let go for a while.
Well, you should fire him on Christmas Eve, and then
Colonel, fuck you. You're fired.
I don't like you fucking guys anyway. That's no big deal.
I love it.
All right.
So this is actually our first kill of the movie. Spoiler alert.
For the two people that are watching that haven't seen this yet.
Right.
I think there were two.
And we wanted to do this off screen. Again, kind of play into the theater of the mind, because we knew we were going to have an on-death kill, but we wanted to have this one off screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Play into that kind of like,
more
what?
about that later too, like some of the other decisions surrounding it. Yeah.
There's some of those sound cues that I was talking about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Greg, who was also operating the camera for us, our DP, on bigger shows, obviously you'll have a DP, but often you'll have a camera operator that will do this kind of work. And but Greg did it, and he's got the lens baby on again. You'll notice as he comes around the corner here, if you look to the left, see how it's kind of blurry and out of focus? Yeah. This was intentional. That was, again, not done in post. That's actually the lens itself. These legs you're about to see here in the bed, of course, are supposed to be Justine, but it's actually our production assistant, Emma. That's her legs.
Oh. That's funny.
Yeah. We realized that we had shot a couple of those takes, and we realized that you couldn't see anybody's legs. And I think Justine was in the washroom or taking a nap or something, so we said, Emma, get into bed.
That'll work.
That'll work.
I just love the detail you guys put into this film, so you don't get this much of fan film. I mean, it's just beautiful, man.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, I mean, the bars between Vinny, DeSanti, and you guys go on. I mean, the fan films are becoming a thing of high quality, and as fans of fucking horror, thank you. We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it so much better when it's, it's just engrossing, you know.
Yeah, well, we're fans too, and we wanted to do something that should have been done, in my estimation, with the 2019 film.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dave, we don't mention BC 2019.
All right, I'll say that other more recent film.
Yes. That's got a permanent ban, dude. Permanent fucking ban on it.
Now, for those of you that will be watching or will watch this on your own after the fact, this is about a 46-second or so push-in. This is a digital zoom again, obviously, because of the bed. If you listen very carefully, you'll hear sort of floor creaks.
Floor creaks, yep.
Yeah, it was really great. Like, Dave did a fantastic job with the sound design on this scene because it was so subtle, just enough. So we recommend listening to it with some headphones. You'll really like it.
Yeah, I hope a lot of people don't watch this like on their phone. I hope they project it on their big screen or something with, if you have a sound bar or surround sound, because it's so much different.
Yeah.
There's the eye.
Look at that.
If you count all the stabs, it's 22.
22 is what I counted it last night.
And that was our second unicorn there as well on that letter.
There's a unicorn letter opener, that's right. And he's cackling. Brian is cackling and laughing. He's enjoying it. It's like a release for him. It was like an emotional release, like he had been wanting to do this for a long time. Now this is the shot that we call the oneer. If you want to pause it for just a sec, actually, if you could.
Sure.
This is, we start here.
The tracking shot.
It's the tracking shot. And we did 8 takes of this. I believe this was the seventh or eighth take we chose. There was about 3.5-4 hours of setup. Our gaffer and our key grip and our whole team was working to light about, I'm estimating here, but I'm going to say like 7 to 8 windows on 2 different floors. And because what Victoria is about to do is she's walking through the space, and she's walking down a hall to the second floor landing. She's going to walk down the stairs to the front door, and there's many different windows that light is going to be coming through, and the light, of course, has to match. It's supposed to be moonlight, or the moonlight mixed in with the ambient light outside. It's coming in. It's got to look consistent through all of the windows. And so, like I said, about 3 and 4 I would say between 3 and 4 hours to set up, and another maybe 2.5 hours to shoot. Like, if we started setting up at 6, we were ready to shoot by, let's say, 9:30, 10, and then we were done shooting our 8 takes by like 12:30, 1 a.m. And that's just this shot. And it was, we called it the oneer. Myself and Bruce talked extensively about this for months and months and months, that we wanted to capture a no-cut take. And a moment that really plays into that mood and that atmosphere. So it doesn't cut until she gets to the front door.
Right. I am a huge fan of tracking shots. Obviously, the opening scene of Halloween '78 has one of the classic ones. Mike Flanagan has done a couple. One very good one in one of the episodes of The Haunting of Hill House, which just blew me away. The funeral scene. If you guys have seen that. And there's also one that I love, just kitschy wise, in a movie called The Player. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's about Hollywood, and it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek comedy about Hollywood with Tim Robbins. And it's following several characters come in and out of this tracking shot, and one of them's even talking about, movies nowadays have all cut. I like those tracking shots, like this one that was in this movie, blah blah blah. And then he comes back later and he's like, yeah, it's all cut. And I love that. But if you haven't seen that, it's a great satirical look at Hollywood.
It wasn't easy.
It's a Robert Altman film, actually.
Oh, cool.
The Player. Yeah.
Cool. I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, like just that particular scene I've seen, and it was great. It was great.
Yeah.
Just how dynamic it was, and it's like a dance. It's very much a rehearsal, and I found that when directing this scene, I'm gonna say it's similar in ways to directing live theater, and what I mean by that is you're directing the performer through the physical space. It doesn't end. You don't have the cut. You're not directing from one beat to the next, and it's a short section. It's like we're going from one beat to the next beat to the next beat. There's a journey, there's a transition through space, transition through emotion, and moments, sometimes lighting, camera. So it's a lot more involved, and you really have to rehearse a lot more. Yeah.
Well, because your audience is moving.
Yeah.
You know, your audience is following you around in a tracking shot like this. That's it. On a stage, your audience is still, and you're still, basically, in a way. Or at least your space is still.
That's right. And everybody's got to hit their marks. And so Greg was our camera operator as well. Like we said, he was hooked up to the Ronin. So he's got the big sort of harness on, and the camera is hooked up to it, the Airy Mini. And our second assistant camera, Dylan Lobo, is spotting him. So because there's a set of steps that Greg has to go up backwards at the end of this hall. So if you listen to the raw outtakes, because this was shot I believe most of this was MOS, but I'm not sure. So you could hear him, although Victoria does say Justine, which was picked up. So maybe some of it wasn't. But anyways, the outtakes, you'll hear sort of the cues like now, steps, now. Because, I mean, we just couldn't have done it without somebody spotting Greg as well. And it's also dark. You know, and if I have to say this, I say this all the time. I said it on the director's commentary that's on the Blu-ray. I have to say it here. Shout out to Jacqueline Tabacco, who was our focus puller, our first AC. It is one thing to pull focus in a tracking shot. It is another thing to pull focus in a tracking shot that is in the dark. Yeah. And she did an amazing job. Yeah. I just love her. Yeah,
okay. And you mentioned the Blu-ray. I want to just ask for the people watching: will there be another campaign coming up soon where they might be able to get a copy of the Blu-ray?
Not at the moment. Possibly in the future.
Okay.
Our main focus right now is to get all the Blu-ray shipped to the current Indiegogo backers who backed the first campaign, and then we'll see where we're at. And but I'm not going to say no. You're never going to be able to get this ever again. Not going to say that. We're just kind of taking it in stages. But that's it there. That's the back of it.
Nice.
Yeah. And the disc. That's what the disc looks like.
Very cool. Very cool. So, well, whatever you guys do, and I know we can talk about this after the movie as well. But whatever you guys do in the future, count us in. We will definitely be backing whatever you guys decide to throw your talent on.
Executive producers.
Just send us a bill. Send us a bill.
Dave, hold that thought, man. Yes, and then invoice us. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Colonel's like, wait a minute, hold on. I gotta do the bookkeeping on this first.
Hang on a sec. I've just been fired. Wait a minute.
Yeah, you're fired anyway. We don't have to pay your salary anymore. We can put it towards the movie. Your salary of $0.
Right. And Bruce and I are actually where were we? Were we in the laundry room watching? No, we were in Justine's room. So when Sam gets to the main floor and goes, Justine, and you see the crack in the door. If you were actually to open that door, there's about 4 people in there watching on a monitor. So
yeah. So when we get there, just
nice.
There's Bruce and Dave behind the door.
I know, we're totally destroying the magic now. But
but no, that's part of what. Hell, I'll just throw this up here. Chris says. It's hard to see because of the video, but he says, I was able to catch this in Roseblood finally just a couple of days ago.
Very cool.
This is a great fan film. I'm only listening to the stream, but I enjoy hearing about the process of making any film. Mm-hmm. I do too.
Yeah.
So,
thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thank you.
And Tyrone, or maybe Tanya, this is a couple that watches us, but Tyrone says, this film flows so nicely, and it is so engaging with intense detail of the sets. My eyes never look away. Thank you. So
cool.
Thank you.
So,
very cool. I've heard that one before. That's awesome.
Let's see this fucking scene.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we're moving forward.
All right. So obviously she hears a knock at the door at 3 a.m. and she's like, what the hell is that?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, that's creepy.
Yeah. Such amazing work. Those are the steps there. Such amazing work.
How many times did she trip or stumble during some of these takes? Any?
Never.
Never?
No,
Wow,
no,
that's impressive.
No, not once.
And she hit her mark every time right in front of the window.
Yeah.
And now, of course, we pivot. Now we start moving forward.
One of the things we did for preparation for shooting this is we had I drew a schematic of the floor, like just sort of like an outline where all the rooms were and everything, so that we could plot the movement through the space, and so the crew could see it, and then it was just our way to communicate with them, so that they could understand and we could map it out, talk about it, all of that, and then the folks that backed the campaign that purchased the storyboards perk, we included that as one of the images that folks could download.
Nice.
You know, along with some of the concept art.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely important to hit your mark on film. You know, like you were saying, in front of the window and everything.
Yeah.
It's also important to hit your mark on stage, because I actually fractured my wrist at one point during a stage production because the actor that was supposed to catch me after I get the shit slapped out of me was in the wrong spot, and he didn't catch me, and I just went down to the ground. Really? And in the middle of the play, just fractured my wrist so bad, I'm dying in pain. And I literally, I don't get to be off stage very often, but I ran backstage, punched a hole in a bag of ice in the freezer, and just stuck my arm in there for a little while until I heard my cue to go back on, pulled it out, dried it off, and ran back out on stage. And, and I turned after the curtain call that night. I grabbed that guy and I was just like, "Where the hell were you?"
Yeah.
Glad you're okay. I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was years ago, but
so she obviously, with the turnaround that we just saw, she has the look on her face because she's like, I unplugged that phone.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's why she had that look.
And that was that crash zoom I think you were talking about.
That's right.
And this is the moment where she realizes that no, there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
Her eyes, she's breathing heavier, the cat's light in her eyes, the furrowed brow. This is different.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Christ.
And that's the first time Billy's used her name, because before that, he was always referring to Jess.
That's right.
Which doesn't really surprise her, you know, but it hits home.
Oh, shit.
Looking for that phone, where the fucking keys, where's my hamburger? No, I don't know.
Hey, you'd be surprised how many women carry a hamburger in their purse.
It's very true.
There's one I see at a club almost every Wednesday that, like, sometime around 11 o'clock, she just pulls an extra hamburger out of her purse. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing, woman?
So this, I mean, obviously it's the phone is gone, the ornament is there. It's like, oh my God, she realizes she's trapped, she's got nowhere to go. They're gaslighting her majorly.
Yeah.
And we wanted, as directors, to remove all the different, I would say, excuses or reasons that she would have as a character to leave the space, therefore forcing her character to face Billy.
Right.
That shot just there is one of my favorite shots in that blue light of the window. This one.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah. And then she hears the phone, and it's almost as if she becomes hypnotized by it.
Don't run upstairs.
Yeah. What the fuck is going on?
Patricia says you guys really captured the creepiness of those prank phone calls. Yes, they did.
Ramping up.
Yeah, Billy is definitely intensified after almost 50 years.
Well, it's that mental decay.
Yes.
Myself and Bruce talked long hours and days about, you know, where this character would be and how
would he have evolved?
Yeah. There's
think about it. He's like in his, I guess, 20 something, right? When in the original, and now to be, you know, in his 50s or, you know, close to 60 or what, you know, however old he is. It's like he's going to have changed. He's a full grown man now at this point. Like he's not fucking around. This he's dangerous. it's a force to be reckoned with, right? So,
All right. And it kind of goes back to my question earlier about, has he been looking for almost 50 years, or did he just happen upon them? Either way, you could play that character as being this dangerous now, but
Right.
subtext again.
Yeah, for sure. And when you see him kill Justine, that cackle and the laugh that he has and the release, I mean, who knows how long it's been since he's done that.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly falling completely down the fucking rabbit hole. He's at the bottom of that hole.
Oh, for sure.
And this is all the same house, even the scenes later.
Correct.
That's fascinating that you found such a perfect set piece.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, we did 2 different location scouts / tech scouts, and visited the location twice. Once on our own, just me and Dave, of course, to see and do the initial check. We fell in love with it right away and went, this will definitely work. Especially when we saw how many different areas of the house we could film in, and we were like, this is perfect. And there were even some things.
You want to pause it just for a sec? Sorry, Bruce.
Sure.
Just for a second.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Right there.
Sorry, Bruce. Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, there were aspects of some of the areas in the house that inspired us to make some modifications to the script and to make some changes to certain scenes, and just because we now had locked in where we wanted to film, so then we could start to tailor things a little bit more, which was also really nice, and nice to be able to do that, and I think helped. And I do want to say, we both, as much as we were disappointed in not being able to get the original house at the beginning of the movie, and there were some other locations we looked for, and if you saw some of the earlier drafts of the script, you might be surprised where we landed compared to where we started. And we actually found that each one of those moments that created, I guess, what you perceive as a restriction, we were able to turn it into an asset and make it work. And I think it forced us to strengthen the script in many ways, and strengthen the story, make it more localized, which I think also helps make it scarier. So,
right. I also wanted to add too that the version of Silent Night you hear through the attic scene here is the same Silent Night that actually plays in the original Black Christmas. It's not just the same song; it's the same version, which was important to us.
Yeah.
This here, obviously. And it's meant to be small and kind of like, what does that say there? A few people have picked it up. It says Peter's Innocence by Jess Bradford. So it's a
new manuscript.
A new manuscript.
Yeah,
that's it. That's right.
Yep. Patricia also mentions that I'm really enjoying the lighting in this. Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
You guys said to our gaffer Nikita and our DP Greg. Because they worked really hard in the background leading up to this, plotted every scene and just worked everything, and they really brought things to life. We're really, really proud of the work that they did.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, this Peter's innocence reveal answers my earlier question about a little bit at least.
Right, and it really is to sort of convey to the audience that clearly she was working on something. So you have her old book beside it,
right next to it. Yeah,
right. And you have the manuscript there. Now it was probably placed there in some sort of half-ass way, maybe by Mrs. Crane or Billy or who knows, right? I mean, but it's there to sort of show the contrast, and maybe what's in that book is likely what we said, all about Peter. Oh, my boyfriend was the murderer, and oh my God, and all this kind of stuff. But then all of a sudden, something happened. There's information that she became aware of, obviously, that gave her reason to doubt. And, that is when Sam, of course, says, something's always bothered me, though. And she says, the cop said Peter did it. And for years, my grandma said the same, but I think she started to have doubts. Why did Sam think that? Obviously, Sam has information as well, right? And of course, there it is. There, she was in the middle of writing, probably to clear Peter's name and to add another sort of angle to the story. Little did she know, and she was probably writing this book in this house, way up in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
But obviously something happened.
Well, and her editor and agent have probably been on her ass for like, what's next? What's coming? You know,
Could be that
we need
too.
something.
That too. And how does Billy fit into that? And you know, Agnes and all this kind. I mean, how does it? What's the like? What happened here? You know what I mean? Our goal with this, I mean, ideally, we would have wanted to shoot a feature and shoot the whole thing. But when you're not backed by a studio and you're crowdfunding, we felt that it was, and the level for that we wanted to deliver on, we felt, and of course it was during COVID, it was 2020 when we were raising the money, we would have had to have raised, you know, 150,000 or 200,000 to complete the story in its entirety. So we felt, well, let's make this episodic. So let's make this the first half of a much larger story. And that's why it is the way it is. And we wanted to answer questions. So you watch the movie and you go, oh, but then that's going to make you go, but what about,
but wait,
what about, what about, and that was the point. That was the
right. And it works. It works very well.
Right. And I do want to say, sorry, I just want to say one last thing. Shut up, Dave. Just want to say one last thing because it comes so fast and talking at it in real time is so hard. So the phone in the attic, you're going to see a phone number on the phone.
Yep.
And for Black Christmas fans, it's a very deep cut. There's a scene in the original film where the lineman comes over to the house to tap the phone, and he spews off the number. He says, "Hi, operator. This is whatever his name is." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm calling from 555 19, you know, whatever he says there. Right? I forget the number. It's over there on the phone. I have the phone back there. But he says that number, and I thought, oh, I'm going to use, that's the number that's going to be on the phone. And this communicates to the fans, to the audience, that that's not just the phone. That's the sorority house phone. That's the phone from the original film. So I just want to say that now, because every time it gets to that point, I'm like, oh, this is because it happens so fast.
Right. Well,
I just wanted to set it up.
I love that it's in, the old rotary ring too, where you used to have to pop off the cover, write down the numbers, stick it back in, pop the cover back on. I love that about it. And I don't know if many parents do this, but I know. Oh, lovely. Hold on. Let me.
And we selected the color. We worked hard to try to find a color of phone that was the same as the color of the phone in the original 1974 film.
That's right. It's the same one.
Yeah.
I don't think I can't.
No, I got it.
Yeah, you got it. All right.
Yeah, I see
there
it.
we go.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that shit, man.
That's the on-screen right there.
Yeah, this is the screen used one.
Yeah,
we had about.
That's cool.
We had 2 of these phones and 3 of the black ones, I think.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I picked up something he said there too that makes me happy, but I'll hold my thoughts till we're done.
Sure.
Yes.
Oh, something in this shot?
No, something that he said just now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Making it episodic like that. Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to go there when we get off.
If we were backed by a studio, you'd already be on to the next episode.
Right. Yes.
Exactly.
Right.
You'd be able to binge it on Netflix in a day.
Right. Exactly.
That's what, but I love the fact that the tenacity and the ambition of some of these filmmakers that are doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll hustle strangers for $20,000 to try to make the first part of a 4-part fan film.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Well, and it's a risk
too.
too.
Be practical and pragmatic with the approach. That's where you got to put your producer hat on, and what can you achieve with what you've got, and not compromise the story, because we didn't want to compromise anything either. We wanted it to be solid through and through, top to bottom.
Yeah. And I just wanted to add too that it's always a risk, because you don't know how it's going to take, right? And whether everybody's going to hate it or everybody's going to like it, but we felt that it was the best way to do it, because there is more we want to tell. For sure. Yeah.
Well, yeah, as some of the people are about to find out.
That's right.
Let's see if we can kick this back off here. And there's the book. A couple copies of the book. There's some of the newspapers. Yeah, that would be a good perk.
What I'm saying?
Would be, actually.
Yeah.
You'd have to find somebody to ghostwrite the Jess Bradford book, though.
Mm.
Damn.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
That's an intense project right there.
I've read the book. It's fascinating, just so fascinating.
Yeah, it's a quick read, actually. Surprisingly,
Yes. Yeah.
with all of its blank pages.
That's it.
Right.
Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, and Victoria just loses it.
How many takes of this did you guys have to work on?
3.
Yeah.
3?
Yeah, because there was only again, from a directing point of view, working with the actor, you have to. It was one of the most emotionally, probably the most emotionally intense moment of the entire film.
There it goes.
Yeah.
And so it was about how many takes can we realistically get before the performance gets lost, you know?
Well, and were her reactions and pretty similar?
Yes.
All 3 of those takes?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It was one of those, we wanted the audience to sit in the grieving of the loss of, one of her closest best friends.
Right.
And to sit in it, because that's not something you really spend time doing in horror movies.
Yeah.
You know, someone dies, okay, on to the next, it's kind of, we wanted to add more
roll
of
it back, sorry?
dimensionality to the character.
Sure.
Roll it back to just before his hand.
The hand?
Down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can.
That's good. Pause it there. Do that. So Bruce and I talked extensively about this, and this was a lot of fun. And we, what's our big reveal going to be? And in many drafts of the script, we had an idea where, like, initially, before we actually location scouted this location, we were imagining this happening in an office or some sort of, not office in like an office building, but I mean like, in a home, like a den or a home office or something. And she's on the phone and it's dimly lit and he sort of emerges from the darkness. Anybody who watches my YouTube channel knows I say that a lot. Emerges from the darkness and sort of he's there, right? You see him kind of coming. And then when we location scouted this house and the owner said to us, well, there's an attic I can show you. And we're like, oh, okay. Now we're thinking, I mean, it's a big home, but for whatever reason, we're thinking attic. That we're going to be walking around like this on our
crawl
knees
space
or whatever. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we got up there, and it's, as you can see, it's huge. Or it's absolutely huge. And we were looking at the rafters, and we're looking up, and we came to this idea that what if he's up there, and he's watching her the whole time from above. And what would be unexpected during this moment, and so that's when we settled on the hand coming down, and it's not a grab, it's not a grab the hair fast or anything. It's just gently coming in as if he's looking at her and he's like, oh, he would know that this is the granddaughter, and it's almost like he's like a cat almost. He's a predator, and he's reaching for her gently as if he's going to just kind of tap it and do that and
kind of just brush the hair.
Yeah, it's very sick, and weird.
Kind of like Hannibal in Hannibal when on the merry-go-round.
Right. Yeah. Great analogy. And so, anyways, I just wanted to say that there was a couple of options we had, but we ultimately decided on that this would be the best way to have a moment at the end of the movie where we didn't want to we had our eye shot. We didn't want to go back to another eye shot through a door. We wanted to have some.
Would have been easy to do the same thing like that. I mean, and probably would have played pretty fucking good, honestly.
And we talked about it.
Yeah,
we talked about it for sure. We considered it at one point.
Yeah, we did. And but then we thought, well, what can we do that is, I mean, to try, and it probably would have looked great for sure. But what can we do that's our own? That people who really like this movie, who watch it, who consider it, because the best compliment in the world is when you hear people say, well, this is canon now to me. I'm just going to watch the first one and watch this one. And we want, which is such an amazing, it's so humbling, and we wanted our own version of that. So people can be like, oh, there's this, and then the hand, remember the hand, and it's like, so we wanted to create our own eye, Yeah.
Well, at least you didn't have him lower himself behind Jess, like Michael Myers and was that H2O?
H2O and Resurrection. Yeah, that's
Woo! Oh, and Resurrection. Yep.
Yeah.
At least he didn't do that. Like, I'm the strongest. You know, that was
Don't get
that.
me started.
Yeah.
I'm a gym.
Thank you for not doing that.
Maybe that's why I brought it up. I wanted to get you started.
God damn ya! I'm good.
I know you like to rant on your channel, but maybe we need a rant on our channel as well from time to time.
Just bring me on and say Halloween 5 and I'm gone. And that's
okay. That'll be another exclusive one that we do sometime down the road.
There you go.
Okay, I have a question about this shot though in this scene. If Billy is calling, why wouldn't she hear him above if that's actually him above?
Okay, well, there's two things I'm going to say. Number one is shut up and eat your popcorn. And number two, shout out to Christopher Nelson. I can't take credit for that. The other thing is, we've had people say, well, wait a minute, what phone is he calling on? If that's the phone, what kind of phone is he calling on? If we were able to, like, again, if you would have already been on to the next episode and be like, right. But when you're left with this, there are those sort of kind of little things. It's like, I wonder how they did that, or I wonder what's happening there. So, so from a directorial standpoint, the phone that he's using is
Jess's phone, isn't it?
No, it's not a spoiler. He's using Sam's cell phone. And because
or Sam's phone, that's what I meant.
Right, she was searching for it. She lifted up the blankets. That's where she left it in bed.
That's what she was searching for in her purse and everything too, and couldn't find it.
Right, and that will become obvious if we get a chance to do the next part. You'll be like, okay, I totally get it now.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing. We didn't want to show him. I have my phone here. We decided, and we had talks about this, and we decided that we didn't want to show Billy on a cell phone. It feels too modern to see him on a cell
hokey.
phone. Yeah, and we didn't want to show him swiping right and dialing. It feels a little too. This is Billy. He's 70. It feels weird. Some people have said, "Well, how did he get into her phone? How did he know the password?" And I'm thinking, well, not everybody has a password. It's not a default. You have to put a password in or a thumbprint in or what have you. It doesn't come automatically locked. Right. So obviously she didn't have her phone locked. She probably will now. But so that's what it was. And was he was up there sort of on the phone and how he didn't hear her. I mean, it's the movies, man.
Yeah. We could try a bit of
that's where we asked. We could say things like maybe she was just. Moment. Yeah, I was just going to say that, Bruce. Thank you.
Yeah. And to some extent, legitimately, that could be believable to a point. That you're so hysterical, you're wrapped up in the moment. You've just discovered your dead best friend right beside you, and how horrific that would be for you. You're not going to necessarily have the awareness about you of what's going on in the space, but at the same time, it's a movie, and we understand that may only be plausible to a point.
And also, too,
I'll shut up and eat my fucking popcorn.
Shut up and eat your popcorn.
And then the direction, sometimes filmmakers, you just
but what's funny too is I made sure when I was doing that at the end that I didn't. If you listen to Billy, he's not screaming, right? He's going,
he's very quiet.
He's quiet. So I think it's possible. All
right.
If that's all we got to bitch about, that's pretty small potatoes. You know what I'm saying?
True.
I'm having, all right?
I think not knowing how Maz Kanata got Luke Skywalker's lightsaber is that's an issue.
Yeah,
but anyway.
that pissed me off. I want to know that part of the story because
that is a good question.
Really fucking important.
Maybe they'll explore that in season 12 of Mandalorian or whatever they're doing.
Animated bridge show.
I don't know. Yeah,
that's there you
go. Got a pot off with blue milk.
That's possibly true.
You never know.
All right, I'm not bitching about it. I just had to ask the question because that was one of the few things that I did catch that I was just kind of like, well, there's some questions there.
For sure, it's a good question.
All right, let's move on then.
Ooh.
that works too. That's just off-putting and disturbing.
Yeah, that looping record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did the right thing. She ran out the door when the killer was after her.
She ran out the door.
Damn it, didn't work.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then this scene. Get ready, folks. This is probably my favorite Easter egg that's coming up here in a moment. Just because it's just so subtle and well done.
Are you okay? Are you hurt?
Yeah, we had people say that some people could see it coming, and then others were like, "What the fuck?" Two ends of the spectrum. There's really nobody in the middle. Love the way she just
There's a man.
Don't worry, dear.
I'll ask about that, Lorena.
Make sure you're taken care of.
Lorena wants to know if the record player is modified. Looks like a modified Crossley to me.
So sorry, I thought I saw something run across the road.
To be honest, I don't know. I can see a real record player
anything on your
and
side?
a real record that's playing.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure. No, it
Yeah,
was.
we don't know.
The old Pamela Voorhees.
Yeah.
Take
that, you little kid. No.
And this was great. Like when we were filming this and writing this, we had hoped that the Black Christmas fans would notice the dialogue and notice certain things that were being said. It was really important for us when working with Caro, who's the name of the actress who plays Agnes / Mrs. Frank, that she delivered that line in a very particular way. Don't worry, dear, we'll make sure you're taken care of. That subtext
Right.
implied. Just we had a lot of fun with that, and she did too. It was great. She really enjoyed
Well, it's great to play a villain.
it. Yeah.
And I love that line.
Yeah. And I remember
That's the what
she
the
had said
fuck.
that
And
was
there
the
you go.
Yeah.
There's my
There it
Easter egg
is.
that I like.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And this was the reason why we wanted her death to be off screen.
Yeah.
Because if you had it on screen, you'd see how she was killed, which would then reveal. And we wanted fans to go throughout the film and go, I wonder if they would have paid homage to that, or you know. And that's such a signature visual. We wanted to save it for the end.
Right, and you hold it till the end, which is good because it makes people imagine it later on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And again, same house.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Amazing.
Dude.
I was saying to Dave that this particular room reminds me of something out of The Walking Dead. Like I just
Look at the blood on the wall to the left.
Play Easy Street on the record player in this room.
That's
The dried blood on the wall to the left.
Yes.
Who is that?
Who's that?
Who the hell is that?
Is that a dog?
Is that a chihuahua?
What the? God damn you guys!
What?
Mm.
No way! Oh, come on!
Yeah.
Exactly. Didn't they see? Oh, come on!
Oh, fuck you, Dave. Fuck you, Bruce.
That's it. No! Lame!
No.
It was really good until that moment.
Now, Dave, I know you've been doing your YouTube channel for a little while. I know, and you even kind of mock some of them, but you have your haters. Did they just come out of the woodwork when you release this and try to piss on you about it?
Ironically enough, no.
No? All right, good.
No, they didn't.
How could they?
Yeah, I don't know if it's because they we delivered this, and they're like, oh, okay. I don't know. I have no idea.
Damn it! I can't find anything to bitch about with this movie. So
yeah, look, I mean, everybody. Look, I mean, even every filmmaker will tell you, and I'm sure, Bruce can back me up on this. I mean, watching even this movie again, you go back and you go, you know what, we probably should have done that. Oh, you know what, we probably would have done that. Because everybody does that, right? You go back, you watch your own stuff. That's art. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. But all in all, with what we set out to achieve, how hard we worked, under the time constraints, the budget, the people we hired, we're very pleased with what we were able to pull off.
Yeah.
Now,
100%, all things considered.
Now,
yeah.
Now, here we are. Grandma, where are we at with any movement in seeing another chapter here, guys? I'll be as blunt as I can.
Jesus, just all right. Hey, throw courtesy out the fucking window and just go, man. All right.
He gets out.
Hold on. Do you guys need some lube? Do you guys need some lube for this?
After I'm reminded again at how I was like, how this ended, and leaving you wanting more, obviously. So I mean, understandably, I want to see more. So what can you tell us on the staging of the next story?
Bruce, do you want to start?
Yeah, well, I can say for sure we have full intention of bookending this and writing and creating the next piece and bringing the story to a conclusion, answering these questions. We don't want to give too much away because we're in the early development stages, I would say, and there's a few things that we're working on, some other projects as well, and this, the next chapter of this being one of those projects. So we're it's a bit early. We don't want to give anything away because also we don't want to share something, pigeonhole ourselves with the story, and realize later it doesn't work. And you know what I mean? You know how it is. In all fairness, as creators to creators.
The last line of that movie says a whole lot right there.
Yeah.
Well,
and obviously,
I'm now expecting.
Yeah,
well,
and Jess is in the basement, obviously, and and here's Sam and Jess united or reunited. Yeah,
that's it.
Since he opened the door, feel free to make the announcement right here that Olivia Hussey is signed on to reprise. I mean, go ahead. Let's just break it out and throw it out and do the open.
Yeah, we would. We can't say that yet, but certainly that is the dream. That's the dream. Would be to get Olivia Hussey to reprise her role as Jess Bradford. If we can't do that for whatever reason. She's not interested. She doesn't feel comfortable flying up here to, whatever it is, whatever the reason is, and we're unable to use her. The story always comes first, and we would recast her, and we would put the same due diligence into recasting her as we did into casting Victoria Miro as Sam. Yeah. So really looking at, just that feel, that vibe, somebody that sounds like her, looks like. So you look at her and you go, well, obviously it's not Olivia Hussey, but I totally believe that's Jess Bradford.
That's right.
And that's the most important thing to do. And, we've said this before. I've said it on my own channel too. Yeah. As, Bruce said, we have every intention on completing the story. We would love to do that. There have, it's very early, very, very, very early. We are working on something else right now, which may become our next project. The exciting thing, we don't want to say too much yet. A lot of people, I'll say to you what I've said on my channel, which is the really cool thing that Bruce and I are working on right now is it's a treatment, it's a pitch to a studio that this opportunity came up because of It's Me Billy. And so we're very happy with that. And naturally, of course, when opportunities like this come up, you want to capitalize on it, take advantage of it, but seize the moment. Now, we were not told not to say anything. Bruce and I have just decided that at this stage of the game, not to put the cart before the horse. It's still a little too early because, I mean, there are scripts that are written that never get produced. Yeah. So we're in the... Yeah, we're in the pitching stage. We're in the treatment stage. We pitched our idea. They liked it, and they said, "Let's see a treatment." And then if they like the treatment, obviously you would move into the script phase. But it's still very early, right, to start saying, well, this is what we're doing and this is who it's for. But naturally, of course, we hope because of the level for which it could be, that likely may be our next project, fingers crossed. But we have every intention on bookending this story. We're completists in that regard. It's a story we want to complete because we're excited. Even though we can't make money off of it, we are excited about the artists in us want to complete this story, and so we have something complete, and for the fans out there as well.
Yeah, man. Well, 100%. You have our
Congratulations
on it for sure. I mean, this what and 'tis the season too. I mean, right before Christmas week here, and watching it's even better in the season than watching it before, I think. But man, you have our full trust in whatever you do with the next chapter with It's Me, Billy, and man, we can't wait.
Appreciate that a lot. Yeah, we were going to wait till this time of year to release it, but we were ready and we were too excited, so we released it in May. Christmas in May, what the hell?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Close enough to Christmas in July. Shit, it counts.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Well, man, first off, congratulations on the opportunity that you've got, and fully respect that you don't want to necessarily talk about it because, you know, if it falls apart, then you've talked too much about it. But if it blossoms into something, then it's just kind of like, all right, hey guys, check this out, and you can present the gift. So I get that.
The gallery's in here too, man. Sequel.
Yeah, I know. I saw him.
Yeah.
They all want it.
A lot of people have reached out to me and said, when are you doing it? When are you doing it? When are you doing it? And I've had to say, the same thing. Well, but yeah, we have every intention to. We've spoken to Victoria, and she would love to return. And I believe Brian and Caro are also on board to return as well. So
nice. Speaking of Caro, I have a question about her character, and I'm not sure you can answer it or not, but I'm going to ask anyway. We finally meet Agnes, at the end. I mean, we met her in the beginning of the film too, but we didn't know who she was exactly.
Right.
And we also get that realization that, Agnes isn't just in Billy's head, maybe from the first movie. What is Agnes's role in Billy's life? Is she solely a caretaker, or is she the catalyst that inspires him to stalk and kill? And for what purpose? If Agnes wasn't around, would Billy still be as dangerous as he turns out to be? I don't know if you can answer any of this. But
well, let me just send you the PDF of the development of Part 2.
Yeah,
excellent.
We won't tell nobody.
We'll say that it's an excellent question and one that we plan to answer in the sequel.
All right.
Because we're right there with you, and to say that, we're throwing around, I think, some very exciting ideas of what we can do with that character to really explain their story. I'll say,
Bruce and I,
I'm working here. I'm working here.
There's been many times where Bruce and I have been like, no, when you went yes, what about instead of yes, and it's like so
all right.
See Raina? She's on this right now.
Oh yeah,
Agnes refers to her brother.
Yeah,
my brother and I live down the road or something like that. So.
That's right.
Yeah, she mentions that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember catching it. I just didn't know how many of the other fans did, and I didn't, in Black Christmas, Agnes is never really explored. She's just, you almost think it's just, one of the multiple personalities maybe running around in Billy's head. You don't know.
Yeah, but, I stand to be corrected, but I believe, one of the great things about that original film is that the phone calls of Billy seem very arbitrary and nonsensical, and a lot of it is, of course. But if you do pay, there are certain things that he does say that give you clues into maybe what kind of a sicko he is or what it is. And obviously, it's alluded to that Agnes, because I believe he during one of the phone calls, he takes on the persona of his parents. He's like, Billy, what did you do to Agnes? What did you do to the baby? What did you do to Agnes? And it's heavily implied that obviously Agnes maybe is his younger sister. The baby, Billy, what did you do to Agnes? Where's Agnes? What did you do to the baby? What did you do to the baby? It wasn't until 2006 Black Christmas where they solidified that. And of course they went off the rails and did this crazy thing with it. And I know that a lot of people, excluding present company, of course, but there were a lot of people that had reached out to us and thought that the Agnes reveal in our film was an homage to 2006, where in reality it was just.
Hold on, will you say that again?
There are a lot of people, not a lot of people. I'll say some people have come forward thinking that the Agnes reveal in our movie is an homage and a tip to the hat to the 06 film, and it is not.
What?
The spit. I love it. The spit take. I knew you were up to something.
Oh my God. Well, what sucks is I'm going to have to clean that up later. I don't know why, but I couldn't miss a chance to do that right now. No, God.
It was not an homage to 2006 because and I don't have any concrete evidence of this. I'm just purely speculating. But I think because the original film, because it's very nuanced, number one, in the original film. And number two, the original film is still that movie that a lot of people haven't seen. Mm-hmm. There are many people that have seen the 06 movie and not the original. So there's this impression that, Agnes comes from that movie. And Agnes is so present in that movie and so crazy in that movie that people automatically think, that's the homage to the 06 movie. When in reality, it was the first movie that actually planted that seed. And we were just going off of that. Yeah.
And one of the things too that we're playing with, both with this film and thinking of the sequel, are of course the timelines. And you have to think of it from the point of view of the person who is the villain, Billy, and his state of psychoticness and whatever it is. How much can you trust of his notion of any timeline? How much can you trust of his point of view or his perspective of things, right?
Right.
We assume, this sort of the stance that Dave and I have taken as the filmmakers, that we assume that anything that's coming from Billy is coming through this lens of distortion and his sense of things. And so when we approach it from that point of view, it gives us a little bit more wiggle room of where we could place certain things in a overall master timeline, if that makes sense, sort of what I'm describing.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's cool too because Black Christmas has never spawned a franchise outside of the 06 and that other one.
Right.
There are no rules per se, within the mythology of the story and the lore of the story that fans can point to and say, well, that's not right. That Jason doesn't run. That doesn't happen, or this doesn't happen. He doesn't use the crossbow. What is it? But he used a crossbow on part. Yeah, but that was part 5 and part 6. He didn't. There's none of that with us. So it's almost like it's a blank canvas. Now there are certain things we have to remember and allude to, and kind of within the original film, but it never spawned sequels upon sequels upon sequels, where when you decide to retcon certain things and redo certain things, you have all this built-in fan base that is constantly going, but in part 5, you don't have that, so it is really the creative liberty that we have to extend. That doesn't mean people are going to like the direction you take it, but at least it isn't wrong or incorrect because it's not following the rules that were set by the other 17 films, so.
Hey,
well, and Lorena agrees.
This one feels like it goes directly connected to it. So you've accomplished that. You absolutely.
It feels like a very proper sequel.
Right.
With that big time gap there. It's
cool.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Lorena says 2006 Black Christmas hammered the crap out of that concept. Blech. I wouldn't expect you to do an homage to the 2006 film. Almost as less as I would expect you to call the next version of this, It's Me, Billy, Evil Dies Tonight. So,
we actually joked about throwing that line in there somewhere.
Oh God!
Just to push people.
Or maybe the second one. the first one is "It's me, Billy." The second one is "Billy, it's me."
Right, there you go. I'd rather have that than "It's me, Billy, Evil Dies Tonight" or something like that.
True. That's actually true.
Yeah.
By the way, we're supposed to take a shot whenever we say that. I forgot. But.
Oh, okay. I have water. Yeah.
S. Michael's got one here. He says, "Do you think Olivia Hussey is aware of It's Me, Billy?"
I think I know the answer to this because I think you've talked about this before.
I have, yeah. I don't know if she has seen the movie. I don't know how much of it she has seen. I do know that Lee McCoy over at Drum Dums, I want to say Drum Dums, I think it was back when we launched our Indiegogo campaign and we had our Indiegogo teaser. So not the teaser for the movie, but the teaser for the campaign. And I think it was that one. And he had tweeted at Olivia Hussey on Twitter, and she responded to it saying something to I'm paraphrasing, but it was something to the effect of, "Oh, that's so cool. They should cast my daughter as my granddaughter." Now, for those of you that don't know who are watching, Olivia Hussey had a daughter late in life. She had a daughter. Her name is Indian Isle or Indian or Indiana or Indian or whatever her daughter's name is. Anyway, she's an actress as well, very attractive and talented, looks like her, obviously. But Olivia had her, I think, when she was in her 40s. And so her daughter is actually only about 27 right now, although Olivia is 70. So in theory, she could play her granddaughter. And that's actually not a bad idea, but we had already cast at that point, and we were very excited about Victoria, and we're happy that we have her. So that I do know that she was aware of the project, but how anything beyond that, whether she's seen the movie or the trailer or the teasers, or I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea.
I will say this: if you are able to get Olivia Hussey, or even if you're not, whoever you cast as Jess Bradford, you have to bring her back in that sweater, the boob grabbing sweater, please.
Or maybe it's just in a box that falls over and you see it.
That would be fun.
I just want to see that sweater make a return in some way, shape, or form, because I hadn't noticed what that sweater was up until last night, and my friend and I are watching it.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah. For some reason, I always thought it was like a menorah or something. I didn't know what it was, and then I was looking at it closer the other night, and I was like, "Wait a minute, what the hell is that?" So I had to get a screen grab of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how many people have. I noticed it for the first time just like a couple years ago. I was like, "Oh, that's kind of strange." Well, it was the 70s. I mean,
it was, but she also kind of seems like a little bit more conservative than some of the other girls in the house. So
that is true. That should have been on Margot Kidder, maybe.
Margot, yeah. Well, I think she had the matching pants set, probably.
Right.
With the hands on the ass or the front area, maybe. What are the other actresses working on now, like Victoria, Malika, and Shelby?
Well, I know that Malika has been very busy. She finished, I can't remember the name of the show. She was on a couple episodes of something on Netflix. I just saw her, I think, Bruce, you saw it too. She was in, was it a McDonald's coffee commercial that she was
it was like a national ad that she did. She's done a bunch of stuff. She's done some commercials lately, as well as some short films. And but a lot of the short films she's been in are they'll be screened in some festivals. They've all been accepted into different festivals, which is pretty
And
cool.
I know that Malika and Victoria, not in the same show, but there was some show, was it Paranormal Survivor maybe or something? There was some show.
Victoria, was it?
I think Victoria was in an episode of Paranormal Survivor.
I was talking about Malika.
Yes, yeah. But Malika was in something too that was on Netflix, I think, some episode. Okay. I forget what it was. Okay. There was something. And Shelby just finished shooting a short film in Michigan, actually. And she's done
Ziggy's neck of the woods.
Very cool. Yeah. I think she shot that at the end of September. So I don't know when that's supposed to be coming out, but I know she's also working on other film right now too. So they're busy, which is great.
Yeah. Well, Dave, I think you saw this. I don't know if Bruce did, but I think you mentioned something about this a while back. But I want to throw this clip out there too, because I noticed Billy got a little bit of extra work on the side. He did a commercial bit. I caught this online a while back.
You little bitch! What did you do?
If you've got the time, we've got the beer, Miller beer.
I had to throw that in. I had to go digging for that one, but
you guys are great.
See that.
Couldn't you find a nice Canadian ale to put in there too? I mean,
I couldn't, man.
Yeah,
I couldn't think of one.
Canadian, something like that. That's so funny.
Well, when we did our review, Colonel made the mention about, it looked like, Billy was living the high life. He's cracking open a beer and he's got the whole place upstairs to himself, and that's when I kind of did that clip just to fill in there.
Dishes,
man, that's a hell of a bachelor pad,
It is.
Yeah,
it is. Oh yeah, he was rocking it. And I got to say too about Brian Charles Peter. I mean, it's an overused cliche, but it is true that some of cinema, the actors that tend to play real evil people tend to be some of the sweetest, nicest people that you could ever meet. And Brian is a sweetheart. He is funny and charming and talented and the complete opposite of what you see on screen. And he was so attentive when he was on top of Malika and we were going through it and trying to get the eye right and all this kind of stuff. He was so attentive to her and so respectful and just a great guy. Just a great guy.
Yeah.
Right. We met, I think it was in Kansas City, we met John Carroll Lynch, I believe is his name, who played Twisty in American Horror Story.
Okay.
A few years back, and he's played other characters through some of the seasons, but they're normally horrible people.
Right.
And he even talked about, I can't remember which role it was. I think it was the role he played in Hotel. He talked about just how much that affected him, and he was just like, I need to take a break, because it was just too much to be in those shoes for a while. And like you said, a lot of these guys are the nicest people, and he's one of the sweetest guys,
Yeah.
He was amazing to meet and chat with, and one of those very empathetic guys, but you almost have to have that to be able to step into those shoes and be that horrible, which is amazing. So
right.
I gotta step outside of It's Me, Billy, for a second. Dave, what's the status of Dylan's New Nightmare, and are we getting anywhere closer to filming that?
I don't know. I know that obviously I'm the reason for the big delay. I'm not the reason. I mean, C19
there was a pandemic.
There was a pandemic, but because I am in Toronto, and everybody else is in the States. For a long time, the borders were closed. The land border was closed, and of course there were travel advisories in effect and all that kind of stuff. And obviously, being Canadian, when I come to the U.S., I have to make sure I have the proper health insurance if something was to happen to me and all that kind of stuff. And so it was just a bit of we just delayed it and delayed it and delayed it. It was the right thing to do. It was whenever you delay a film, obviously you take advantage of that and you hone the script and you hone things. And Cecil has said that he has done that. He thinks the script is better now than it was when we were going to go and shoot the film in May of 2020, which was when we were going to shoot it. And so now things are starting to lift a little bit. Things are starting to open up. But then, of course, the Transformer variant has come in. And
McRae.
Yeah, and now it's
the Optimus Prime.
Right. So I know that Miko Hughes, I think he wanted about 3 months, which just seems about right. I think we all kind of wanted the okay, here's what we're going to shoot. We're going to shoot in April, and whatever it is, but we would know that like now. So nothing's been said, and I think that's because we're all kind of back against the wall again. We don't want to set something up, schedule something, book flights, and then have crap hit the fan again. So
they keep moving the goalposts. They keep moving the shit back. They say a date, and they kick it back another 2-3
That's it. So,
and soon Megatron will be converted into, Galvatron by Unicron.
That's right. Well, that's just it. And
there will be a Skywalker variant that comes out pretty soon.
Yeah. Right, Skywalker variant. So I'm not a producer on the film. So, the real people to talk to obviously would be Cecil and Vince, and sort of find out what they're thinking. I do. Again, it's not my fault. I do feel bad because I want the movie to get going. I know how passionate he is about it and all that kind of stuff. And I'm very humbled that he has waited this long because he wants me. And he wants me in the role, and I am totally down for doing it. I want to fucking do this thing.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'd love to do it. So we'll see what happens when the new year begins and what happens to Omicron. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see.
It sounds like an early Omicron. Sounds like an early cell phone company. Like I don't know. You can get the best service, the best 5G from Omicron.
That's good.
Crappy logo.
Yeah.
Oh God! Don't start that. Because if you start that, Dave will start turning on his toys, and then we'll be here for another hour and a half.
It's good for entertaining.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Bruce, I got a question for you. What were some of your favorite horror films of 2021, and what are you looking forward to in 22?
Okay. I'm going to be honest. So I'm going to start with what I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
I admit I haven't seen Parasite yet, and I want to see that. And
Watch it
on my watch list. I'm planning to watch that this holiday season.
It's a great film, Bruce.
Yeah.
I have it, by the way, if you want to watch it.
Okay, sweet.
I own it.
I really enjoyed, in terms of what I enjoyed in 2021 was, I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of it, the one with all of the symbols on people's faces, the South Korean...
Oh, Squid Games.
Squid Games, yes.
Yeah. That was cool. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. And I had also watched earlier in the year the train... See, I keep messing up the name. The Train to Busan.
Yes. Oh, wow. Nice.
Oh, yeah. And so I really enjoyed that because I'm a big fan of zombie movies. And that one, again, I started rewatching The Walking Dead. Watched that all the way through, but then, I just loved it. So I just started watching it again. And I also saw The Midnight Mass. Watched Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor. In terms of
he's my favorite right now.
Yeah,
Flanagan is one of my favorites right now, just as a creator. Good
God,
it pisses me off that he's such a good story creator and just thematic. Well, damn near everything that he has his hands in is just so good.
He's killing.
I know. These guys hate it when I get off on a Flanagan tangent, but
yeah, those are the horror movies for me for 2021 that I can recall right now.
All right. Yeah, Train to Busan is excellent. I'm glad you got to see that one. I
haven't seen
I'm
that.
worried about the American remake that's supposed to be coming out, I guess, in April.
Train to Manhattan, now it's called.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Are they really?
Maybe Jake.
Is that for real?
Yes, they are. Yes. Yeah. And maybe Jason will. I think so.
It's Train to New York or Train to Manhattan or Brooklyn or something like that. Yes.
No, it's Train to New York.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Listen,
from DC to New York or some
Train to
shit
Busan, I mean, for a movie that's a foreign film, completely smashes the language barrier. You will care deeply about the characters in it, and it's something that's rare in movies like that, but it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Awesome. I can't wait to see it. I've heard great things about it.
Well, Lorena says Korean horror movies are great and sad and awesome and heartbreaking. Yeah, and they're able to pull that off. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Orlando has a question for you guys. He says, for the sequel, would you make the body count higher or just keep it to 3 or 4 girls?
Ooh.
Why is it just got to be girls? How about we kill some guys, man? Come on.
Yeah.
Definitely wouldn't discriminate.
Sorry, gotta get a bunch of men in there.
Maybe a bunch of podcasters show up to do some kind of live on-site thing, and Billy just comes out and just beats the shit out of them.
That's it. And one of the guys, okay, let's do it.
Takes over the show.
And takes up. That's it. They're doing it, and here we are at the house. Yeah, that's what we'll do.
It's me, Billy.
That's right.
I mean, to be fair, he could probably pull off a hell of a podcast. Just all those different personalities. I mean,
that's true. That is true.
I mean, we really started our show a few years ago, and all it was Colonel just sitting up in the corner, just saying, "I want to lick your cunt," all over and over and over, and it got weird for a while.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it, and that was his first 6 firings, right? That was
the first 6 firings. Yes.
Those were the most viewed videos. Okay.
They were the most viewed. Yeah, I think it was Margot Kidder just reliving her younger days.
Right.
Over and over.
Yes. So obviously there are it's a good question, and this isn't spoiler territory. There will be more deaths, sure, yeah. To say that, we also have to remember, I'm not saying this individual dies, I'm just saying in terms of more people coming in besides the 4 that we know are there. There's a line in It's Me, Billy, where Justine says, "Did your dad say what time he'd be here tomorrow?" And Sam says, "Not till 2." So there is a father that is expected to arrive,
right?
The same father that is looking to sell the house. So that's
what be with him.
That's right. Who knows who's going to be with him? And there are other, yes, for sure. There will be. It's not just going to be obviously that's the center. That's the main core. There is the 4 of them and this thing. But there are other people that will arrive. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, can't wait.
All right. Yeah. Well, Dave, I didn't get to ask you what were your favorite horror films of 21, and what are you looking forward to in 22?
It's a good question. I think I haven't watched as many as you think I do, because usually when I watch a horror movie trailer, I go, "Oh, this looks like crap," and I don't bother watching it. But I did enjoy a movie that I watched recently. That's just off the top of my mind. That I did enjoy, and I think I enjoyed it again because of the subtlety and the nuance of it, and the more of the psychological aspect of it. Was The Night House.
Yes,
I thought The Night House was really good with Rebecca Hall, I think her name is, and I thought the way they illustrated or presented the entity, or in terms of how he's like blends in with objects and things like that, and all that, how they did. I thought it was just brilliant, just tremendous, and a great mood, great atmosphere. I know a lot of people think the ending was kind of like, but I thought the ending was fine. I really enjoyed that. For sure. And I didn't love it. I think I appreciated I think I liked it because there are certain moments I'm like, oh, I like that shot. I like this moment. And I really appreciated the risk, which was Malignant. And I think, James Wan, of course, he's done, The Conjuring, Insidious, and Malignant was, it was, once you know what's going on, it is, you're either going to have the audience or you're going to lose some of the audience, because it is very avant-garde and very kind of out there, very sort of campy, but I watched it, and then of course it's like John Wick and this thing going on. I'm just like, this is okay. I get it. It's like it's different, and I appreciate it on that level. Yeah. They're talking about a sequel. For Christ's sakes, it doesn't need a sequel. But of course, this is Hollywood.
It's gonna get one.
It's gonna get one. So
it's the dark half of. It's the John Wick in the dark half, is what I like to call that movie.
That's it. And and then for your viewers that know me as the Halloween guy, I did not really like Halloween Kills.
I wasn't even going to bring it up. I figured I knew your response on that, but
I'll just say that I appreciated some of the changes they made in terms of the aesthetic, and the flashback was, from a set deck.
That was good.
Standpoint and everything, and it tremendously done, very well done, and I appreciated some of the aesthetic, and you can watch it on a certain level, and you're like, this is fun, which is what we did. Myself and Bruce were able to see an advanced screening of it, but I think the 18 film is a better movie overall. I think it's a better script. Structurally, it's better. I still feel the way I do about it, but Kills, that middle thing with the hospital and the Evil Dies Tonight and the dialogue and the acting is just, God.
Do you have any hope at all for Halloween Ends, that it'll salvage this trilogy, this set of stories, this time? Will you be satisfied, or just like, God damn it?
Well, I want to be satisfied. I mean, anytime I always want movies to succeed. You know, a rising tide raises all. I want. Yes, I know you come to my channel. It looks like I'm going, and he's a contrarian. He just wants everything to be bad. No, I do want this to be really good. I want Ends to stick the landing and be really good. But I thought the 18 film was okay. I thought Kills was better in certain aspects, but overall a big step down. And Ends, it's kind of like, it's a crapshoot. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis is on record as saying the movie's going to piss a lot of people off. Why the hell you would say that before the movie's even shot? They go to camera next month. Why you would say that? I mean, it's like, what are you doing? And it's almost like you're getting ahead of something that you know is probably not going to resonate with the audience. I don't know. David Gordon Green has said it's kind of a coming-of-age film. The film fast forwards 4 years into the future. So where has Michael been for 4 years? He's just walked off into the ether. How is he shitting, peeing, eating? I have no idea. I hope he's not captured, put back in the sanitarium, only to then escape again. That's too redundant. That's ridiculous. So I don't know. I don't know what the justification is going to be for this 4 year time jump. They jumped 4 years because they wanted, get this, not my words, their words, they wanted the pandemic to play a part. You know, I don't know.
All right.
That's what we needed in the Halloween fucking universe.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Well, at least Michael Myers, he's covered. He's got a mask on all the time.
That's true.
He's good.
True.
You know, he
maybe
can go into a diner and
maybe he dies of COVID.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Omicron.
He dies of Omicron.
Michael Myers versus Omicron.
Well, he has been the social
Myers.
Yeah, he has been the social distancing champion of the world for a while. So
that is true. That is
the
true.
horror world, at least.
I just want to ask the Colonel, because at the beginning of the movie, you were about to say something, and you're like, "No, I'm going to save it to the end of the movie and ask that." Do you remember what that was?
It doesn't even matter because Zagman fucking beat me to it. So I do have a question though.
Okay.
Based on it, so I can have one.
We think alike, man. We're like the same.
Tired.
Simpatico, you know what I mean? Yeah.
But I mean, I do have to ask, because I'm going to ask the hard-hitting question here.
Oh God.
How good was Deluxe Catering from Ottawa?
Oh, how did you know that we got it from there?
Probably read the credits.
The credits.
Oh, okay. Fair.
It was good. It was good. They, it wasn't like we weren't a Hollywood, 400 crew set, so it's not like we had tents set up with, like a wedding kind of catering thing. But they showed up. Our first 2 days were day shoots, and then we switched to night shoots. So we were sleeping throughout most of the day, and then we would get up at 3 or 4 in the afternoon and have our breakfast at 5. And then the catering company would show up again at 3 o'clock in the morning and whatnot. But it was good. It was sandwiches and bagels and pasta and salads and it was good stuff. For a low budget 7-day indie shoot, I think it was pretty good.
Yeah.
God damn it, Colonel.
Sandwiches. Yeah. We would definitely use them again.
Definitely use them again. Yeah.
High endorsement and the burning questions from the Colonel, folks. That's why he's here.
That's right.
I ask the questions no one else is going to ask. All right.
Yeah, no that's absolutely true.
You got to take.
That is absolutely true.
Take care of your people.
Yep, that's it. Nobody has ever asked that. I bet you Cafe Deluxe, if they're watching this right, not now, but after the fact, will be like,
yeah, that'll get in their next promo reel. Thanks, Colonel. Appreciate it.
On that note, man, that's probably a good point to, you know what I mean? Roll.
Well, I got one more question, mostly for Dave. But Ziggy, did you have anything else for him before we?
I got it down. The thing that was bothering me most was where the status is on continuing this fucking cliffhanger that you left us with, and we got a little bit from you. I'll accept that. I'm good. I'm okay. I can sleep tonight. I'll be able to sleep.
Well, we'll be talking more about it on Wednesday anyway, too. So.
Okay. Well, my only thing is, do you have any new stuff planned for your channel? for Many Things Dave McRae or Dave McRae Live? Anything new that you're working on for 2022?
No, I usually fly by the seat of my pants.
Okay.
I don't usually have a schedule well, I mean, I do have a schedule, but I usually don't plan too far in advance. This Wednesday, of course, on my channel, 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, myself and Bruce and Caro and Brian, which is going to be exciting. I've had the 3 actresses on my channel before. And they're going to be there again too on Wednesday, but I've never had Caro or Brian on. So Agnes,
yeah, this one's the whole cast.
Yeah,
this is the whole cast. So, and it'll be a similar thing. I'm going to use StreamYard, which I don't usually use, but I'm going to use it because I like the way that you can watch the movie in the thing, and we'll be talking about it. So there's that. That's coming up. But beyond that, I don't. I mean, listen. Halloween Ends starts shooting in January, so it's like it's just made for me. You know,
you're gonna be getting scoop on that, I'm sure. So
yeah, just to people, as soon as that begins, then there's my whole year right there. So
yeah. Well, guys, this was an absolute pleasure and an honor to have you guys on here. This was a lot of fun. We appreciate you stepping in and talking about this movie with us, and we wish you nothing but the best for your project that you're working on, and hopefully for a second part of It's Me, Billy in the future. And
it's gotta happen, man. It's gotta happen. Don't take no for an answer.
Thank you. No, it's a pleasure to be on, and thanks for having us, guys. This has been great. It's been real good.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love coming on your show.
Yeah,
we appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, we'll let you go, and we got to cut Colonel out of here pretty soon anyway, because he's got to be working like 4 hours.
He passed out a half hour ago. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's true. He just woke up right at the end. But yeah, keep us posted and let us know when Indiegogo campaign does start to launch, either for this or for I know Dylan's has been going for a little while or had gone. Yeah. But yeah, keep us posted on anything you got working, and we'll do what we can for you.
We'll do it. We'll do it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate the
love. All right. You guys have a great night, and happy holidays. Merry Christmas and all that.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Black Christmas.
Guys.
Happy Black Christmas. Exactly.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Cheers.
See.
Wow. There they go.
All right. That was fun.
I love
we will be
these fucking things, man. I fucking love doing these live director commentaries. They're the fucking best.
I do too. I almost want to start doing them more, but I know we can't because we don't have that much time. Yeah.
Speaking
Anyway.
of time, this is fun. Don't get sick. Watch your dick. Don't smell like Scuba Steve. Use Summer's Eve. It's like 11:15. I gotta go, guys.
I know. Get out of here. We're gonna wrap this up pretty quick. So.
Oh, fine. I'll stick around then.
Here we go.
After for post production.
Fair enough. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Our members only. We do appreciate you sticking around and watching this film with us and hanging out with the writers and directors, Dave and Bruce. One last time, thanks to our members, Corey, Chris, Lorena, Christy, Luke, S. Michael, Patricia, Tyrone, and Tanya. Also our Crazy Ralphs, Angelo, Peter, Raymond, our camp counselors, Stacy, Lynn, Kiara, Dave, and Orlando. And, yeah. And, yeah, thank you all for watching, because Colonel's got to get out of here. We're going to get out of here.
I'm not wearing a fucking Christmas sweater on here again. That's fucking sure. I've been sweating my ass off.
I bet you are dying under there. DCS Out, we'll be doing our top 10 of 2021 next week, along with top TV shows, top fan films, top conventions, all the stuff that we're going to wrap up into one big-ass show. And join us next week. It'll be the full live experience. Woo. Love you guys. Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas. Yeah.
Merry Christmas. We'll see you next week.
Stuff.
Woo!
glass.